Cool.
Bro. Swish, what up? Thank God. Thank God I am on vacation because like and I can just sleep in tonight, man. Or because bro. Kermuse, what up? Bro. Yo, levels of losing, bro. Like that's the way we lost tonight. That's like the first time. So all season long, right? I will commend the team in this sense, right? All season long, they've pretty much this is just an example of them just letting go of the rope. You know what I'm saying? And in the 2021 season, they let go of the rope a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in the game, and then you just see them just let it go. And they just get demoralized. But Miami would just beat our asses tonight, man. Flat out.
Urkel, you were saying earlier in the space,
Yeah.
kind of in the beginning of it, that it looked like they didn't even read the scouting report tonight, bro.
Yeah, they didn't. Like,
Bro, Urkel,
it was off.
Jaquez, 2/3 of all of his looks come from inside the restricted area and in the paint. And they weren't even sending help to do it after he was just blowing by people, dribble penetration
Did
right
you
to the
see
rim.
how,
Not
yo,
only
bro,
we don't have the guys to stay in front of him, they
did you
didn't
see,
even fucking
yo,
read the scouting report on how this guy gets his buckets.
AK,
Are you kidding?
AK, it was wild what he was doing, bro. Like, they
How
were,
the fuck, Urkel? Nah. How the fuck do I know that and they don't know that?
bro, I'm telling you, like, I watched them and I was like, did these dudes read the scouting report? Like,
Like, are you
you know what I'm
kidding?
saying? It's almost like they didn't even know how to guard these guys, like how to even approach it. You know what I'm saying?
How to guard these guys and then how to score on these guys.
Oh
These
my,
guys didn't know how to beat a 2-3 zone. Is this high school basketball? These
bro,
guys didn't know how to beat a 2-3 zone.
watching
And
Kuminga,
not even in terms of breaking it down and getting buckets on it. Getting looks. Getting the
bro.
They got
right
a
type
few
of
good
looks
looks,
on
and
a
they were
2-3
missing
zone.
them too. They were missing the wide open looks that
Bro,
they got
this shit today.
because they ran a
Ah,
few plays to get looks out of that zone, and they couldn't even make the shot. So it's like, okay, we're gonna keep running the zone.
Hmm. Nah, man, it was just flat out disgusting, bro. Like just flat out disgusting. And I kind of look at it and I'm like, you know, um, again, I am not a guy that like celebrates, like bro, I just want the team to win, right? So last year when we were celebrating Wiseman being a bust, I'm like, I heard that shit, bro, and I was like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we actually doing? And that to me, it was almost the beginning of the end, basically, right? When I saw us doing that, and I was like, that is bad juju, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like sports superstitious. And once I seen that happen, I was like, that's a bad sign. That is not good, And I saw it and I just felt bad about it. You know what I'm saying? And the things that the guys were doing, man, right, bro, Miami is just their guys are just better, bro. Like flat out better, you know. And we were in the game and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Guys,
You know, Urkel, it looked like the guys on Miami just came out did,
Oh, you
from
kind
top
of
to
broke up.
it felt like the majority of our guys were like they just didn't come out to like the effort just was not there.
Yeah.
We're getting blown by. They're falling for all the pump fakes. They're not going for the loose balls. They're not getting the rebounds. It was just like up and down. We up and down the roster. The effort was just not there.
Hey, Urkel,
Yes, sir.
here out for a minute, right? I understand what you guys are talking about, and I respect that, but I just want to ask some questions, if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind.
Go ahead.
Right now, where do you think Steph, like in the top players in the league, if you look at the top players in the league, where do you place Steph?
Oh, he's still right there, man. I mean, the stats say it, like everything says it. But I think what's happening is that Steph is just still at that level, and you have guys around him that are just deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? He's still at that level because you look at his efficiency, you look at the volume, you look at all of that. He's still there, bro. Like, there's nothing that he cannot do. You know what I'm saying? But then I look at, bro, like, here is here is
Step further, right? Like I understand what you're trying to get at, but
yeah.
like, do you think he's still top five?
Do I still think he's what? Oh yeah. He's still top five, sure, absolutely.
You're
I don't
placing
view
him over.
basketball, bro. I don't view basketball like a lot of people do. I view it in terms of when we get to a playoff series, which guy has the most absolute counters? You know what I'm saying? And his numbers is still there. It's not like I'm seeing a drop off. I see no drop off, right? Like he still gets to a spots. He can still left-handed, right hand, going right. He still does all of that stuff, right? It's not like people are just there swiping him and doing this and doing that, bro. I see no drop off, right?
Because you know what I mean. Like Steph is not that elite on defense to justify the inconsistency on offense or on offense, like we've been seeing this season, right? I know he's been his percentages look good, but that consistency of a top five player,
Mhm.
he's not been playing at that level right now, and it's something that's
Okay,
concerning to me because
consistency of a top
without
five
that, you
player.
need
I'm
like
what you
top.
mean exactly.
Oh, sorry.
He's averaging like 28 points on 59 effective, right? So when you say that, what do you mean exactly? He's making like five a game.
So I'm looking at Jokic, right? What he's been able to do in Denver. I'm looking at Luca.
Jokic
I'm
just
looking at
scored 7 points on one of his games. It's the same. Like Steph has been pretty consistent, other than
Listen, let
these
me tell you
last
something,
couple
man.
games.
He's been really consistent throughout this year. Like I don't know where we would be if it weren't for him, right? So I'm just watching this thing and I'm like, where do we go from here, right? Like why why the up and down? Why the up and down? Why the up and down? And that's kind of what I'm looking at. You know, that's what I can't solve for. I can't solve for that. GP2 Muse, what up? Took you long enough to join.
Hey, Urkel, I have a question. I
Yes, sir.
couldn't watch most of the game today.
Uh huh.
Was our rookie literally the only guy who could beat a 2-3 zone? Because that's what I'm seeing in the TL.
You're talking about pods, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Bro, and if if we want to pinpoint where we lost the game, it was right there.
Bro, isn't Miami one of the top teams like every year in playing the zone?
Yeah.
So, like, did we do any prep before this game?
Kermuse, that is my point. I was saying this before the game, right? Like, or I was saying this in the spaces actually, and I was looking at it and I was like, what prep did we actually do for the game?
So you're telling me a rookie was the only guy who knew how to beat a 2-3 zone?
Bro, they're running a 2-3 zone. The first counter to a 2-3 zone, you drop it off to the man coming up, slipping the screen at the free throw line, right? You try to enter the high post.
Yeah.
These guys are throwing it into the high post and having a guy like JK or somebody else drive it into three dudes. Like what, bro?
Oh
The
my
whole
gosh.
point of this is you open up shooting in the perimeter by dropping it inside because you cannot dribble into a 2-3 zone. And you have dudes dribbling it into the 2-3 zone from the perimeter or catching it at the free throw line and just going blind downhill.
So is that why
This shit today, bro,
was
would
inconsistent?
drive varsity coaches in high school crazy. That's
Is that
how
why?
fucking embarrassing it was.
Is that why Kaminga was inconsistent today? Because he was just
Coming
driving.
out of bad night. Coming out of bad night. He had 6 turnovers in the second quarter.
Night.
Even if you
And-
take half of those away, one of them was like a travel that they called off of a push in the back that he got hit off of a right under the basket for a layup. Whatever. Even you take those away. There was one that was a reach when he drove. Whatever. You take those away, he still had 3 turnovers in the second. We had a bad night. But fuck, man, tonight was more than JK. Tonight was a basketball embarrassment, a
Yeah, it
fundamental
was. I
basketball
mean,
embarrassment.
it was, and
Talking
it's
about basic shit, bro.
bro. I think they got demoralized by the fact that they had some guys out there or whatever, and they had the guys out there, and you know, it. I think they looked at the guys on the court and the fact that they were out being outplayed that much, and they were like, you know what? Fuck this, bro. Like, we're just out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they looked at the other guys, bro. Jamal Kane, 18 points, and see, I think our defense is cooked. I don't think we can defend anymore, bro. I'm not seeing
Well,
it.
our defense
Fuck,
would
bro.
come from guys putting out effort, right?
Yeah.
And from what I'm seeing, the way the game was progressing and the fact that guys were just jacking up threes instead of trying to get to the basket, I saw Wiggins wide open to drive baseline and get an easy two. Do you see Wiggins even dunk a ball anymore? Because I'm not seeing it. And so I think there was a lack of effort on the part of the players tonight for some reason, whatever it may be. It could be anything, locker room, I don't know. But I did see a lack of effort, and guys were, to me, kind of lazy out there in trying to get to the basket and trying to get, show like they want to try to win this game.
Yeah, man.
There is a point. There is a point where we got Miami to commit 3 consecutive fouls with like 9 minutes to go. I think in the fourth, and then I looked 2 minutes to go, and there still was 3 fouls for Miami. I'm like, why aren't these dudes driving inside?
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially it, man. I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, bro, we just got our ass
Wait,
beat.
Urkel, did you see what Paz just said in his post conference? Sorry, post game.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said the reason they lost. He said it's my fault. Are
That's
you
shit
kidding
like
me,
your
dude?
vet says, bro. That don't.
You're having
That
your
shit
rookie
doesn't
go
make.
out there and say it's my fault.
It's never a good look if your rookie is the one.
Pods needs to chill out with
Like they
that.
should be. They should
Yeah,
not be letting.
Pods ain't like Pods. You ain't that guy, buddy. Sorry, but
Pods, you ain't that guy, dog.
definitely ain't on you, little boy. That's cute, but that's
It's a
He's
bad
doing
look,
too
bro.
much
He's
now.
just
he's
Like,
doing way too much. He's doing way too
fuck
much,
out of
bro.
stuff when he does that, man.
he's doing too much now.
Steph should
Yeah,
not be the one to go out there.
he's actually crazy for saying that.
Pods is like, it's my fault. I'm gonna take accountability. No, Pods, it wasn't
You
your
know,
fault.
the media is
Definitely
gonna
wasn't
eat it
you,
up.
buddy.
No, he's such a leader. He's such a leader.
I love Pods, but Pods, come on, dog.
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually a wild clip. That's a crazy soundbite.
Shout out
shit,
Pods, man.
right,
Shout out
bro.
Pods.
You got that irrational confidence, man.
Yo, no, but I love the kid though, man. I do. But come on, dog. Oh shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, like people are gonna use that as an indictment on the leadership on the team. You know, a rookie coming out saying shit like that.
Yeah. He got to fall back on that one. He got.
That's
I
crazy.
gotta laugh at that, bro.
It's not me. It's my fault.
Yeah, it's me, bro. It's
He said it was one. It
almost like
was
when
probably
Steve
my
Kerr
worst
comes
game.
out and he's like, "Yo, bruh, I didn't have the guys ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my fault. I didn't prepare them. Blah blah blah. blah. That bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He grabbed the wrong script. He grabbed Kerr's script.
yeah, bro. That man had the curse script, bro. Oh my god. Yo,
Hey,
that's
Steph was trying to stop him as he was going up to the podium. No, you got my paper.
yeah.
Bro, you know what that shit was? Back in the day, I don't play 2K like that anymore, but back in the older 2Ks, you would do like a little post-game press conference in your my team, in your my player,
Yeah,
and there'd
yeah.
be like a
Oh, you have
multiple
to pick what
choice.
they say.
You'd select the fucking answer. He clicked the wrong one, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to make your player like fucking cocky and self-centered,
Yo, Pods went into my player mode, bro.
This quote might have been,
plus 10 leadership is crazy.
Yeah, he got that plus.
but
He got that plus
um,
10 leadership stat though.
Yeah,
I
you
think
He
know,
what he
leaving with
said,
something. He
he
leaving with
was
something.
oh shit.
Yo, Pod's trying to get them keys, boy.
Bro.
I don't think it's like that, guys. I think you're
Nah,
somewhat
we're joking. We're just joking.
I think the context isn't quite correct. Uh, Pods was asked what does he think the problem was, and he said most of it falls on his. He said most of it falls on his plate. I think he's speaking from the perspective that he can only account for himself. He can't really go out there and say, "Oh, well, it was this guy or whoever." And he did add that, Steve Kerr might say it was because he didn't get those guys prepared. He added that to it. So I think he was trying to balance it and not so much say, "Oh, it's my fault.
Let
I
me
should
tell
beat
you
that guy."
And
something.
at the end of the day,
Yeah,
he's a
we're just
starter and a
laughing about it,
connector.
bro.
So I
Rich,
mean,
Rich.
like he's
Pods
a
had
starter and a connector. So
if Pods
it's
on a normal night, if he's giving me 10.6 assists, one turnover, right? He's pretty much
Mhm.
doing his job.
No,
Now,
he is.
right? Like
Yeah.
if he's bro, that's all I need him to give me, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Because he is diving, he's attacking the glass, he does all the bro. He's a connector and he's doing all of the hustle stuff. So his stuff, I don't have a problem with what he's doing, but you know, it's kind of funny that he's taking blame like that because you know
It goes along with his personality, though. I feel
yeah
like
yeah
that's
nah, man,
it does.
Oh,
he's a
Hey,
good kid,
Urkel.
man because
somebody said plus 10 leadership.
Hey, so do you guys think like is there any traditional big man that's starting for any team, like any contending team right now?
no.
Rudy Gobert?
What do you mean by traditional big man?
How traditional are we talking about? Are we talking
Like
about
Kevon
Yeah.
Looney.
Kevon Looney is not
Kevon
necessarily a
Looney's,
traditional big man.
Kevon,
yeah,
bro?
he's
I don't
6'9",
know what
small,
Kevon Looney is, bro. Like,
slow.
Well, I'm talking about play style.
Derek Lively.
Nah, well, Derek Lively's he's literally a traditional big, but he's not 6'9".
I think you need to rephrase your question.
Yeah, for sure, for
hold
sure.
on.
Yeah.
You know what I don't understand, bro?
I think you need. Go ahead, Eric.
Is like how can we? So 2021, right, was probably the gutter, right, in terms of Warrior basketball, but it's starting to feel a lot like 2021 now. You know what I'm saying? 2020 was just like whatever. They were just clearly tanking, right? But the most gut wrenching season that I've been through was 2021, and it's starting to feel like that now.
Because
And
we're healthy right now. We're
bro,
Steph healthy.
Draymond is not playing, but this feels worse because you know, bro, I cannot emphasize enough how that Draymond thing is fucking us right now, bro. It really is, right? So, I'm just looking at 2021 and I was like, all right, the league is just stupid offensively, right? We look outdated offensively and Draymond is out and all of that shit, right? And we're just losing games and we lost games in 2021 in the most inexplicable ways, you know what I'm saying? But then I don't know. It's almost like they leaned into a certain playing style. They were trying to play another way, and then they leaned into a playing style, and then it worked. Now, here's a problem. I don't know what we are to go to at this point. I truly don't know. What is what's the playing style that they can lean into or pivot away
it
from?
can't be defense. Dre said that earlier. He was right. Like the league now, the way it's set up, like it can't be defense. Like we just
The
don't
Bro,
have
thing
the
is, the
personnel
thing
for
is,
it.
I feel like everyone is caught up to Draymond's play style. Like, this is why, like, when I see like Clay or Draymond fans, I'm like, you guys should watch the rest of the league. Like, watch other teams play basketball other than the Warriors. Because, like, for example, do you see what Nick Nurse is doing with the 76ers? This
oh,
man literally has
where
Embiid
he's
doing
running
dribble hands.
offense at the elbow?
Yeah.
Bro, he's literally having Embiid running dribble handoffs with Tyrese Maxey. Literally the same stuff that Draymond would do for us, except the difference is it's Embiid with the ball.
Embiid is averaging like 6 or 7 assists a game or something
That's
crazy.
what I'm saying.
Embiid's on pace to go back to back. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, back to back.
He's on another
If
planet.
you look at Basketball Reference right now, you know he's like
He's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's
It's
like
fucking insane.
for the MVP right now. Like
Aren't
And
they
look
like
at
number
his
one
efficiency.
offense,
He's
number
shooting like
three
62% true shooting. It's unreal.
Aren't they
This is
number
what
one
I'm saying
offense,
though.
number three defense?
I mean, Nikola Jokic, for example. Sabonis to a level, for example, they're doing the same thing out there in Sacramento with him at the elbow.
Threats.
They might even have him like out in the perimeter.
yeah.
Yeah,
running
that guy
dribble
doesn't look
handoffs.
like half the player he is without Fox. But
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
Do an
I mean, Ted
example.
Holmgren,
Alperen Sengun.
Sengun, exactly. Like literally, I swear to God, every big man can pass now. So like,
Franz and Paolo.
we need to stop saying like Draymond is, a one of one player in the league.
Bro,
I don't think we're saying that. It's just he's on our roster. You know what I mean? He's the only guy like that on our roster.
No, I know you're not saying that in particular, but I do feel like there's a lot of Draymond
The
and Clay stands
Draymond
out there
stands
who
out
swear
there.
like their skill set is extremely unique. I mean, we can say the same about Klay Thompson and his, ability to space the floor and shoot the three.
to go off of, right? But I just get a feeling that the team doesn't even want Draymond to come back, or they want him to be gone for so many games, bro. That's my feeling.
What do you think? What do you think Steve Kerr wants?
I mean, he'll tell you
So the
how.
whole organization doesn't want him back, but Steve Kerr wants Draymond back just because that's his guy.
I don't know why I'm even feeling like this, but everything like just signs, just like these different signs are telling me that they want to put him on ice for as long as possible.
Well, you get consistency with him out. Like you get a level of consistency with him out. You know.
What do you mean?
Damn, defense sucks, bro. Like,
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like, we don't. It's like when Draymond's back, it's like you're worried he's about to do something else to get himself suspended or get himself teed up, and then now
the
there's a
headache
big
isn't over when he comes
7
back.
point
You know what I
swing in
think?
the game, and like
When the headache starts.
I think the team will need him
But
back.
what is
and
it?
here's
What is
why.
it that you get back consistency wise? Like consistency in what, in the framework of
what I'm saying is like
of what?
They're saying,
consistent.
I think they're saying defensively, like they're saying he's the guy out there, the floor general.
No, he's saying without him, you have consistency.
Yeah. I'm saying
Oh,
without
you're
him,
saying without it, you have
the consistency comes in the form of like you don't have to worry about players getting like if they're going to be 5 games suspended, next game. Like you don't have to look at like, oh, this Mavericks game's coming up. Hope one of our players doesn't like this one guy because he could potentially get thrown out the game, and then that could screw up our entire night. Like you don't,
Yeah, but
you
the
don't have to
problem
worry
is-
about those type of things.
the problem
So
is
not
the
okay.
reason
So
why
not
we're-
necessarily consistently in terms of play, but you're saying that the not worrying about what's going to happen next without him is better for the locker room right now with what you've gotten from him this year. If I'm understanding you right, I'm just trying to make sure I
I'm
understand.
saying
you.
like that. That's an element. Like if we're like I'm going off of what Urkel said in terms of like them wanting him to stay on ice for as long as possible. I'm framing it from that context of saying like that I can see being a like a benefit to them. It's like okay, we at least that's one less variable we have to worry about. That's one less wild card we have to worry about out there because we have enough. Like they already have enough wild cards. They already have enough people coming in and out of the roster where they're having to make these rotation adjustments and stuff that they didn't want to make in the first place. And so, like, that's one less wild card. So that's what I'm saying. Do you get me?
Okay, so I don't. Okay, hold on. I don't disagree with that. That's like in terms of thinking that, but then you have to ask yourself this: if you were to, let's just assume that that's the case, right? Just for argument's sake, the guys in there know and feel his behavior, what it's been this year more so than anybody else. Wouldn't that tell you then that those guys are at the point that not dealing with him is better off for them than having the upside of what he brings on the floor? That's a huge problem if this thing is a true
Yeah.
thing. It's a huge
Yeah.
problem. It's a huge thing. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying if we're gonna bring it up and Urkel's saying he feels
absolutely.
this and and we're gonna say these things, like, then you have to address it that way. That's a huge problem, bro. That's not a fixable problem. You realize this.
Absolutely.
Urkel,
But
that
look
wouldn't be
at the
fixable at
interviews
all.
and the
Hold on.
exasperations, and
Hold on. Clip real quick.
Oh shit.
Let me play this clip.
Oh, this is good. Turn up your stream volume. Turn up your stream volume.
Pajemski just came in here and kind of blamed himself for the loss. Jeez. Dramatic rookie. Basically, that he didn't bring the energy, and he's supposed to be kind of the energy guy.
He was thinking exactly what we're thinking.
Like that the energy collectively wasn't there. Yeah, it wasn't great tonight, and I don't know. I don't have a great answer for you.
He's just,
Can't
bro.
bring
He has
MVP.
no
It's hard
words.
to bring the energy he does 82 nights a year, but he does it to the best of his ability. But just not the best win, not the best performance tonight from anybody.
Bro, you see, I wasn't bullshitting though, bro. Like,
Oh, 100%.
rookie.
No, that's exactly what that was. That was kind of like.
Is he serious?
No, I mean he's right. Like he needs to relax.
Nah, vets ain't dramatic enough. Yeah, that's true too.
I am absolutely.
Hey, but plus 10 leadership though.
Plus 10 on the leadership, bro.
Yo,
Oh,
Switch.
shit.
Switch, I think you're about to talk about why you think we need Draymond to come back, right?
Yeah.
Was that you?
I'm gonna say that because, and I'll preface it by saying, the team signed him after the whole issue with Jordan Poole. They did sign him for a 4-year, $100 million, and that $100 million is guaranteed, right? So they had some faith that this core could do something, and I think they started having second thoughts when, Clay didn't start out that well, because last time I heard, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, is that 2-year, $48 million deal that they were looking at offering Clay is no longer on the table. And so, they're waiting on it to see what happens or how well Clay does. But I think it's important because if Dre, let's say hypothetically speaking, Dre is out and he doesn't come back till well after All-Star break or something crazy like that, something, let's say in maybe March, that is going to leave the window open. Like, well, what if we had Draymond? The reason why we lost was because we only had Stephen Clay and, we didn't really have our anchor in Draymond. It's going to leave a bunch of questions unanswered as to whether this team with the core is still able to lead with just a couple of, guys in there grabbing rebounds, whatever the case may be. So I think if he was there, if Draymond gets to play and whatnot, and the team still cannot eke out the wins that they need to win with those three healthy, I think that will kind of force management to their decision in one direction to decide what they want to do going forward, for a more permanent solution. So that's just my thought on it.
So
Okay.
I understand that we have to, having Draymond Green back will consolidate a lot of the things that, we're expecting from multiple players on the floor at the same time. So Draymond, he'll bring you, they'll talk about his defense, his passing ability, his ability to run the pick and roll, to be the short roll ball handler, his weak side defense. My thing with that though is, at this point in his career, we've also had to put certain players around Draymond to augment his offensive ability, because he's been a liability on that side of the floor as well, right?
Well, that's what Steph Curry and Clay do, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but are we not also trying to augment Clay's offensive ability
by having Dre help him be able to create? So Dre's job, is to create, right? To allow Clay to be able to move off ball like he does, instead then get open looks. Steph Curry can create, for himself off the shot. They're the three of them are like a tandem, right? So we have our triangular tandem. So you have a combination of shooting from Steph and Clay, defense from Dre and Clay. Then you have shot creation and facilitating, I guess, if you want to put those two together with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. So I think those three things optimized, that's what's given the Warriors everything that they've needed. Now, when you have something that's out of the mix, the whole thing kind of falls apart. It's like a kind of like a house of cards almost. And I think, you know, that's kind of the problem that they're facing. I've said it before when Chris Paul was coming to this team that he brings, that facilitating, he could kind of work that in with the Splash Brothers, but he's not going to bring the level of defense that Draymond Green is going to bring to make it tenable on the floor over any kind of stretch. And so, like I said, those players, all their skill sets augment each other. But if you have one starting to fall off, then you're going to see, you're going to start seeing things. And I know.
But hold on. I don't think augment is the right word there. It's complement, right? Because those are two very different things. Augmenting is compensating for, right?
Yes.
That's not exactly just. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, if I was going to say, if you could, if Clay was able to create his own shot, then it'd be a completely different thing. So that's why, having Draymond there to kind of say, hey, you know what, give me the ball and let me kind of run this, and I'll get you when you need to be get. But that said, Erklet said before, you don't really see much falling off with Steph, and there isn't a whole lot, but I will say that there is a very small amount. He's averaging a couple of less points and not points, but assists and rebounds than he has been in past years. And I do recall last season, defensively, he was not as good on the floor as he was the season that the Warriors won the championship. So, it's very minute, it's very small, but these things tend to show up over longer periods of times. Like you're seeing Steph Curry with maybe lower numbers than you'll see him with in games in prior years, for example. It doesn't seem like much, when you see one game here and there.
Well,
But when
let
you
me
look at
let me ask you this. So we were with Dre the other day, and he pulled up Draymond's advanced stats. Do you know what his defensive net rating is when he's on the floor this season?
this
Hold
season,
on. Hold on. Let's not get the stats jumbled up. The individual defensive rating is not a good metric to look at. First
No,
of all, and
absolutely.
that's not what we were looking at. We were looking at his rim deterrence percentage, expected versus deterred. That's what we were looking at.
Do
So
you remember what the
basically,
number was,
percentage of
JK?
yeah, it's shocking. So basically, Draymond, the sample size isn't great. It came within the framework of we were looking at basically best rim protectors, and the metric, it was a scatter plot that we were looking at, was basically the shots contested, volume of shots contested, and then the farther down on the y-axis you are, the better. The further above it you are, the worse. Which means basically, if at 0, it would be expected. If your opponent's rim field goal percentage is 0,
yeah.
and then below it, you're deterring more shots. Your percentage of deterrence versus expected is really, really high, which makes that delta lower. It makes it a negative value. Now, if you're getting scored on at will, inside the restricted area and in the paint at the rim, really, then it's higher, right? And it was, to our surprise, Draymond Green was a positive value. It was a +9 in a small sample size. So he's actually, as a rim protector, just based on that metric, on that one metric alone, just looking at that, and in a sense, in a vacuum, but really not so much. He's actually deterring fewer shots than he's allowing to get scored on. So he's actually a negative, as a rim protector this season. Now there's a lot more that there's other things that go into that: lineup combinations, sample size, etc. But it was so bad that within all of our players that are rotational players, he was actually last in the team, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, Draymond defensively, I've noticed a few things. Like he's not nearly as springy as he was like years before. So, he's not going to be able to be, in my opinion, any really sort of rim protecting player at the moment, at this season anyway. And this, I think, is something that's been, he's been trending to, over the last couple of years. So
I don't
I'm
know,
not really
buddy.
surprised by it.
I can't 100% put it on just verticality and athleticism and,
Well,
and
no,
his vert going down,
his
because
ability to move.
his year, last year before he went down, and the year that we won the championship, he was, and he had a stretch where he was, a legitimate depoy candidate, and he
Yeah.
was coming off of the calf injury that was a result of his hip, right, his spine, the disc issue in his back. And since then, he's lost his verticality. We've seen him be a depoy level candidate player, despite losing, a pretty good amount of verticality because of that injury. So I don't agree with you on that.
Well, it's not going to be just verticality. It's his ability to move. It's going to affect his lateral positioning. It's going to affect, just about his mobility overall. I feel like
Sure,
Draymond
but
this year
his
is going to be
mobility
much less
overall,
mobile
his
than.
lack of mobility overall being hindered by that is more so visible in his lack of ability to switch like he used to. He used to be able to move his feet on the perimeter, and he could really lock up on the perimeter. That's where you see that.
Yeah,
So you're right in that it affects multiple things, but I can't. I'm just saying you can't just put his lack of production as a rim protector especially at the five in small ball lineups just on verticality.
well, that's going to be a big part of it. I mean, look at Rudy Gobert.
But that's exactly what I'm telling you. We've seen him be extremely effective as a rim protector despite this injury since he's gotten it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I
Because we've
mean,
seen him do it. We've seen him do it.
he's older now. I mean, he's older. He's been through a ton of
Yeah,
injuries.
yeah. You tend to ignore that these players are aging. Eh? It's
Sure,
not like they're
sure.
getting any
He's
younger.
certainly look.
And
Nobody's
he's
is
been guarding guys at the five for years now. And after a
sure,
while, guarding bigger guys like that, being 6'6", it starts to take a toll on you.
of course, and that's totally true, right? The father time is undefeated. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, don't simplify it so much for yourselves. There's a lot more that goes into that and that advanced stat and different things that you can look at within the framework of why that's the case, other than just age and physical breakdown. Because again, you've seen him be very, very good despite that physical wear and tear as well. So, and that only literally
But
last
you're
year.
you're going to see flashes. Sometimes he's going to be able to come out and give you, but
I'm not
it's
talking
not going
about
to be like
flashes. I'm talking about like
30
50 games.
games, 30 minutes a game, 82 games a year. I don't think you're going to get that. You'll probably have games where he's energized, where he's going to, be feeling it, but he's going to feel it the next day too. And I think that's one of the things is we are expecting these guys to be able to perform and give the same things that they did years ago. As a matter of fact, one of the latest videos that I'm working on, all right, some of the stuff that I'm finding out, like for example, think about it. 2015, like this team right now, what Steve Kerr is doing is kind of based on what the Warriors have achieved in one single year, which is 2015. Okay, 2015 only. 2017, 2018, the Warriors had Kevin Durant to kind of rely on as that other guy, right, to help along with Steph. And then I think everyone knows that 2022 was a bit of an anomaly, and Steph carried the team that year. But we cannot expect that. 2015 was when we had actually multiple players actually contributing at a very high level towards winning a championship. And I think that is the way that the coaching, in my opinion, seems to be approached, is that around those three guys. That's what it's based on. And I think the formula is kind of flawed, especially with Draymond Green out and these guys or Klay Thompson not quite being a consistent second man in Dre's absence.
Well, you simply can't rely on that anymore because Klay Thompson at that point was arguably the best two-way two in the league.
Mhm.
15, 16,
Exactly.
19 before the injury. Draymond Green was a different Draymond Green. He could switch everything. He was in his
Yes.
peak in terms of pick and roll defense. There's nobody like him, basically, that you'd ever seen in
Yeah.
terms of a pick and roll defender. So, look, yeah, I think that there is an effect of coaching staffs and people, a good portion of their coaching staff. While it's different, but at the top, it's the same. Being stuck in older schemes and reliant on personnel to be able to fill those schemes, which can't really do it anymore. The thing I think that especially with Dre, that you really have to consider that sticks out is Draymond. If regardless of what you want to put it on, if you want to put it on one thing, you want to put it on aging, you want to put it on deterioration, whatever, or a grouping of things, doesn't matter. Whatever you put it on, then if that's the case, and we're going to continue to only see it decline because he's only going to get older, then you have no argument, no really, to not put a two-way front court player next to him. You can't win. You can't win without it if that's the case, because you have two ways in which this formula can go. That we've done it both ways, and Denver did it the reverse of how we did it in 22, where You either have a top 5 defense and you're middle of the pack offensively, or you have a top 5 offense and you're middle of the pack defensively. And we've done it both similar in both ways. We've also done it when we've been most dominant, where our net rating is absurd and we're top 5 in both, right? So
Yeah.
if you're gonna concede the defense, which I think is dumb to concede the defense completely, then you're gonna have to put so much firepower around Curry, either through one second option that is like a superstar caliber second option. I don't know how the hell you pull that off with our assets, or you have to get good, solid. You have to consolidate with good, solid two-way players and one very, very good two-way second option around Draymond Green to make this team a championship defense. There's no other way to get there. We haven't seen it before. You haven't seen it in this organization. There's been no formula otherwise.
I think before that, though, that's going to be loading up the starting lineup. I don't know if you have space for that. I think at that point they will just move on from Draymond Green. Yeah, they invested quite a bit, but I think at that point, you're going to have to prioritize your most valuable asset, and that's going to be Steph Curry. So now you have to figure out, all right, well, we got to build around Steph Curry. Yeah, Draymond Green was very helpful and was great back in his heyday, but it's being more trouble than it's worth, and it's not really a lock for the Warriors to looks like making the playoffs at this point. So they have to answer those tough questions. Do we move on from Draymond Green at this point? And if we do, how many other assets will we have to include to get somebody who is going to come in and be be a second man or be Steph Curry's Anthony Davis, if you will. All right. And you saw what the Lakers had to move to get that job done.
So what's your take on the $43 million contract issue that we have in the starting lineup?
I think that $43 million issue, I mean, it's obviously a very big issue. I don't think the Warriors are in a very tough position with that because they've won a few championships with Klay Thompson. It's a question I've struggled with myself, wondering, do you just let Klay Thompson ride it out and try to give him what he wants? Or do you say, no, Klay, we respect what you've done. We want you to retire, Warrior. Take a lesser contract coming up and allow the team to thrive, or you're just going to have to walk. And I think that's the only option they really have at this point. I think they have to force him to take his agent, whoever, they have to force him to take a lesser contract, or if he doesn't really want to take it, then, that's on him and he's got to walk. But I don't think they should give him anything else going forward that's so big.
The idea of trading for a second option is a good idea. Now, how the fuck do we get there?
It's tough. We don't have that many assets
Right?
in the draft, and you get those expiring contracts better freaking really, really, really speak volumes at the deadline, because other than that,
someone like if we do get someone, right, it's either for CP's contract or Klay's contract, and everyone and their mama is trying to convince Klay to sign that deal, because I have a funny feeling that we're going to get to the deadline and Klay Thompson is going to be gone, right? And then everyone is going to shed tears and how could the organization do this? But the motherfucker didn't want to sign the contract, right? So that's ultimately what's going to happen, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Urkel, let me ask you this. Do you think that the organization is willing to write it out and risk having Klay Thompson walk away from the organization in the offseason?
Get something back for him. Like, imagine if the Lakers just let Russell Westbrook walk, right? What would that be like? No, seriously. What would their team be like right now if they just let Russell Westbrook walk? And look at it right? Like, before Russ got traded last year, they were saying, well, at least we got Russ's expire. Next thing you know, they flip it into real things that actually help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course, they went to the free throw line a shitload of times after that Boston game. But that withstanding, they did really improve their team, right? So, and they used that expiring. So we look like dog shit right now. So since we look like dog shit, why would they not make that move in terms of these two expirings that we got. You know,
I
that's
think, yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying is right for business. That's the right move. But I think because of the emotional attachment, I think that's where the
no emotional attachment. I'm telling you, bro, I know something about this more than the average person,
Do you
and I'm
want to do you
telling
want to
you,
know why there's no emotional attachment? Do you think Joe Lacob is happy paying that luxury tax right now?
he's not happy. They have the highest luxury tax in the league, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. If people aren't producing, they're out of there, bro. And worse, what happened is that they sat down with Clay, his rep, right, and they had an offer on the table, and Clay was like, "Nah, I'm gonna play this out." And now he's playing it out, and it's like he's up and down every night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know that he's gonna just make it through the year. Honest to God, bro, I really don't think he's gonna make it through
I
the
mean,
year.
we already see it. I mean, you just listening to the press conferences or the interviews with Steve Kerr, you almost notice a difference in agenda and maybe even contention between the front office and what Steve Kerr wants to do. It's almost like the front office is straight up telling Steve Kerr, like, you need to play the young guys. Like, I don't care about how you care about the core. I don't care how you feel about Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, but you need to play these guys, right? And I think that starts with Joe Lacob. I don't think Joe Lacob is one of those guys who's gonna be on Steve Kerr's side and say like, "Oh no, like I want you to play Clay," and because he's our guy.
Got away with the Kaminga thing last year. The vets had Kaminga just shipped out of there. And if you listen to Ricky G, right? Just listen to Ricky G and hear him talk about the vets and all of this stuff, bro. Ricky G is pissed at the vets because Wiseman was his guy, and Wiseman got shipped out of there. You know what I'm saying? And I think we can all agree that Wiseman is not good, right? But it was the philosophy and just the overall attitude with the young guys, right? And just kind of how their careers were managed. You know what I'm saying? And they just got punted out of there like so quickly. And I just feel like going forward, Kerr got into some hot water last year with the front office because him and them were clashing and butting heads left and right. You know what I'm saying? And now we're here, and I'm looking at Kerr, and Kerr is, and they're looking at Kerr, and it's like,
Are
well,
you
shit.
saying that Kerr was playing those two-way players last season to like prove a point?
Any other way, bro? How can you see it any other way? Like Moses Moody and Kaminga were damn near requesting trades in the summer. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
What was happening? I mean, they were requesting. I saw this interview with Moody last year, and Moody was like, just a look on his face. I was like, yeah, he's I'm requesting a trade. Rich Paul had to be like, Rich Paul was taking phone calls about Moody, and they finally got guys back in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is, bro. But like Kerr kind of he kind of was on the vets' side last year, and I don't think people really had you know, they really had the right intentions last year, especially
I
after
mean, you can be on the vet side, but if you literally let Draymond Green like have a free reign in the locker room, literally punch Jordan Poole in the face, and still do absolutely nothing because you're on Draymond's side, like you're not gonna have a winning season.
you know what I'm saying, like I think we're kind of in no man's land right now, right? And no man's land in the NBA. What the hell was that? Yeah, I think we're in no man's land right now, and no man's land in the NBA is not where you want to be. You know, if we are to be honest about this thing, you
Urkel, and you saying, what you were saying about the deadline and this and that and things going on. And don't be so surprised, bro. Talk about causation and correlation. Look at the group chat. Look at that shit. That's interesting. That's interesting.
You know, another thing, Clay's getting what, like 43, 44 million this year, right? You know, with the whole second apron stuff and teams, on a lot of contracts, especially like contenders who, try to go for it all. And maybe by the deadline, they realize that, they don't have it. Or maybe they could use a guy like Clay, or at least use the cap relief. That's some hell of a cap relief. 44 million, 43 million.
It doesn't work 1-to-1 though. So it's not. You can't.
Well, yeah, but they could get off contract.
Sure. I'm just saying you can't fill it with 43 on the back end going into next season.
So, Urkel, where do you see Clay going that would return the Warriors anything that could get them to compete after the All-Star break?
Somalia.
I don't know. Because unless you're going to tell me that marketing, like Utah wants to get off of marketing, and we send that expiring there, and we send some other stuff or this is what I know.
Unless you get Kevin Durant.
Pascal Siakam has to be traded, right? That's what I do know.
Yep.
He has to be traded, or else they're just going to lose him for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
like they did with Van Vliet, yeah.
Yep.
So if he doesn't resign, like I think sometime soon, if he doesn't resign,
Pascal Urkel.
he said something earlier about.
But you're talking about Pascal resigning, right? He wants $50 million, bro. Yeah. Well, he wants a max contract. They're not going to give it to him. They would have been giving it to him.
Imagine
Clay on YouTube.
I mean, there's Kevin Durant.
He'd be pissed, bro.
He want Clay, and why would they want Clay's contract?
Yeah, no joking.
So here's an irony. Kuminga goes to the paper and says, "I'm him," and he has a shitty game tonight. In some kind of ways, maybe that's what he needed to have happen to him. It's unfortunate that it happened in this team context.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not good enough to have dissension and they be able to be successful. And Kuminga has been a dissenter, perhaps rightfully so, for a couple of seasons now. But too frequently when he's called on deliver, he doesn't deliver when he's primed to be able to do so, to drive home his point. It was disappointing to see his performance tonight.
Well, he wasn't even called upon last year, so in the postseason.
Talking about he made his thing two days ago, and then he followed up.
Yeah, I mean it's one game, it's one night. He had a bad. The whole team, bro. The whole team was atrocious. He was probably the worst out there, but it's one night.
Unstoppable. Clearly, he stopped himself on multiple occasions tonight.
So trade him. Trade him then.
Well,
move off of him.
Well, so this is easier said than done. Right? So everybody like trade. Yeah, it all sounds great. Every team's fan base is saying trade. What the hell we got that
I'm
somebody
being sarcastic,
wants?
Bro.
That's valid. Okay, that's valid. That's
I'm literally being facetious.
Yeah, he was being sarcastic.
On our roster, so
You totally missed the point.
But my thing is what do we have that another team wants? You know what I'm saying? Outside of the expiring. So if Pascal might be an option, he might be. Kuminga.
Who knows? Nothing's gonna happen for 6 weeks, right?
Cut out.
Maybe Fiasco, maybe Siakam be traded before December 30th. This bird right stuff. Maybe not. If his demand is a max contract, I don't think anybody's
That's what he
jumping up and
wants.
signing up.
That's what he wants. He wants $50 million.
I don't know. I'll pay for that right to offer him that.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about giving Pascal Siakam $50 million a year. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
I think teams are waiting until after that deadline is over to try to talk about him.
The coach didn't have them ready, right? This is so typical of the games that the Warriors have lost. I mean, how do you beat the Celtics at home, shorthanded, and play masterfully and win, and then you come in completely flat into a game tonight, and there's four of the Heat are missing. It's
We've lost this
Warriors
game. We've lost
basketball.
this game 10 times over this year. It's super inconsistent
Yeah.
team. We just find different ways to do it. Same game.
It is at least as much mental, psychological, emotional, and energetic as it is talent on the floor. You know, they aren't able to pull forth their best efforts every night. You think and so for a team with this much experience, we've seen them may lose games at the end because of dumb shit, right? Not because the ability, but just because of mental lapses. And they lost this game mentally tonight. I mean, okay. So Curry had another bad shooting night, but where was he? Missing in action. If your best players can't lead and can't bring it, I mean, it's just so damn frustrating to watch this team because they tantalize us, and we see flashes of what they can play when they're into it, but they can't bring forth that effort regularly. I don't know what to think. Hey, I got a question for you. We're talking about Clay's money, and so Joe Lacob has never struck me as a dude that had much sentimentality. You know, he probably thinks, the Warriors are successful because I did that because I'll put everything in place. But these dudes have made him billions of dollars with an S and a Z. Does he not feel any kind of obligation to throw Clay a bone? Is he just
Well, I'll tell you what. He
yeah?
did feel a certain way about Clay for a very long time, and he might still. Because don't forget, that's the first guy he got off the board. Clay was his first. He was his first guy. When Joe Lacob came in, that was the first guy they drafted that he gave his blessing off of, and that shit is not how it was back then.
At the contract
Mm-hmm.
offer. So they want to give Clay a contract offer right in line with Draymond, right in line with Andrew Wiggins. And he's balking at that contract. He's like, hell fucking no. Right? He thinks that he's worth around 4 years, 168. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's asking for. He's asking for the years and he's asking for the money, right? So they're not going to go up there on the years, right? And they're not going to even give him the money, but they're just going to give him the 2-year thing, and then that's going to be that. Yeah, it is what I heard. He wanted, and he's not about that.
So do you think in the long run the organization is going to regret not offering Clay that contract, or do you think it's low key like a blessing in disguise?
Well, they offered him a contract, but he didn't sign.
No, the 168 million is what I'm saying.
No, why would they?
Why would they regret that?
Why would they regret that?
I'm sorry. I tried not to laugh. I'm sorry.
If they offered him 168, right? I would probably run in track. I would probably run in traffic if they offered him 168, bro.
I'd be right on the 17
you're going
with you,
into the
Urkel. I'd
second
be on the
apron.
17 with you.
You're going into the second apron without any ability to improve the roster around it because of that contract. You're dead. You're literally dead. Like you can't do anything else.
We're done as a team if you give him 168, bro. Like,
yeah, we're cooked.
Not only that, but you won't be able to extend the young guys when it's their time.
So
you'd have to get rid of them.
So here's what I also feel. I feel eventually Kuminga is going to be gone. You know, I feel like he's going to be gone eventually. I also.
But what if Steve goes before him?
Well, they can. This year, you realize he's restricted this summer. The Warriors cannot match literally this summer for JK and Moody.
Is it this summer?
Yeah,
Damn.
he's restricted.
Thought it was next summer. Shit.
JK's in for 2 years. He signed the extended.
Well, he's restricted. So if he gets an offer and the Warriors don't match, he's gone.
He's gonna get shot. He's gonna.
I don't know. All the signs, those guys, or at least JK being on the market, just because of the fact that it's going to be hard to keep them and, you know, try to win while they still can.
You know, I always thought Bob Myers got out at the right time. You know, why ride this on the way down? But does Kerr, Kerr's contract expires. Do they shake hands and part ways?
For a reason. Anytime I open my mouth and I say anything like that, bro, listen to me. I'm saying it for a reason. Trust.
Urkel, let me ask you a question. I don't think we've actually had this out of all the things that we talk about. I don't think we've actually addressed this question. So if and we know that he could be packaged, and if you have to move off of one, it's ironic with the shit that we were talking about the last couple of days. You trading Wiggins or you trading JK?
If I'm trying to win right now, trade. Ugh.
If you're only trading one.
Do you believe that Kuminga would be more valuable to teams? Like they're gonna want to.
I think
They're gonna
Kuminga's
want
more valuable, but I'd personally trade Wiggins. That's me though.
They're gonna want Kuminga though.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what the teams want, because you can get value for both of those guys. I'm saying if you have to move off of only one of them, which one are you moving off of?
Because I just feel that he's just younger. His number is better. I feel like you can get more for him. For Wiggins, there's still like a stigma around Wiggins in the league. You understand what I'm saying?
So you're willing to move JK instead of just because of the value you get in return, not necessarily the value that you have for holding one or the other. Okay.
But Urkel, I think the value
I
is
got you,
somewhat negated if Wiggins stays, because then you have less room, flexibility on the cap.
That's a good point. Yeah.
See, but there's two ways to approach this, right? There's Urkel's approach, which isn't wrong, which is the value that you get in return, and if you prioritize that, and then there's the value that you get from the player of keeping of one or the other, right? And that's switch. That's what you're pointing towards. And the part of that value is on the court, and part of that value is on your books.
Yep.
It's a tough question, but you know what? Might be a question that you might have to ask yourself in 5 or 6 weeks.
Wiggins is the player he is now, permanently, even though he's 28 in his athletic prime? Or will he be again the player that he
Wiggins is Bleacher
was?
Dave. Wiggins' decline has been so jarring, even with what we knew about his health going into the season this year, that I actually straight up my answer is I don't know. I don't know. Because it's been so jarring and so swift in regards to his decline this year. So I really don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
For me, Dave, I was going to say
because I went to a few games, and when I watch him, and I'm watching him super close, you know what I'm saying? So I sat courtside for the two games, the Portland game and the Washington game. And I was just looking at Wiggins just the entire time. And he's doing this thing where he's breathing really, really hard, right? Like during plays or whatever, he's breathing really, really hard. His hands are at his knees. And he's also like, every now and then I'm just watching him and he's just grabbing his ribs. I don't think he's right. You know what I'm saying?
So how much do you think it's physical for Wiggins versus mental?
Man, like some people that have the injury, they say that, like the mental effect of it, because when you're going through it, it's painful, you know what I'm saying? And you're off your feet for a while and it's tough to breathe and all of that stuff, right? And, so because you're in pain and you're in pain for so long, I think then it morphs into like a mental type of component, because it should take around 3 months to heal, right? There's no surgery or anything for it, right? So I think after a while, it starts to become like more of like a mental thing, and then mental slash physical, but probably more mental, where it's almost like you don't even want to take contact, right? Because it hurts so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those injuries, man. I've talked to a couple of people that have had the injury, and they don't. It hurts, bro. Like you go up and then you're like grabbing your side and all of that stuff, right? So when I saw the injury and I read what the injury was and I saw the recovery time, bro, it's almost like I mentally prepared myself for him to play shitty to start the season. You know what I'm saying? I had no expectations of him when I saw what the injury was. I saw the recovery time, and I saw what was happening with him. Right. So, I mean, uh, but he's just being a good soldier, bro.
So,
Like,
so Urkel, how
man, that's
closely are you observing the whole Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant situation?
super close, super close.
Do
Um,
you think Andrew Wiggins or Jonathan Kuminga can be used in a package potentially for that?
Scenario.
Going to trade KD in the division, the conference.
Dude, have you seen the reports coming out?
There's reports that come out all the time.
There's a part of me that thinks that KD won't ask for a trade out of just pure pride, but there's also a part of me that has seen KD ask for trades. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, um,
So Urkel, let's just say, just for the sake of argument, that he does. Let's say he does it. You don't think Phoenix would ship him to the grave for losing Bridges and everything and Cam and everything else that they did to get him? They would just fucking stack up whatever they could get, wouldn't they? You would think, value wise, and obviously not send him to his preferred destination.
destination, the team that drafts him now has an unhappy Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So if he's not happy with where he's going, then you have to deal with him being on a team that, you know, that's
But
why
what?
Yeah,
Why?
but I
Like in
think the
term in
league's
terms of the
rules are
team going for him, right? In terms of the team that's acquiring him. Yeah.
bought in. If he's not bought in, it's like, well, fuck. Like, what's the point then? You know?
Is it a similar situation as like James Harden? He clearly wanted to come to the Clippers. Philadelphia didn't need to trade him over there.
That shit
Uh,
got nasty though. I can't
yeah,
see
it
this
did.
getting nasty like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That shit got really bad with Daryl Morey.
yeah.
Right, I get that, but like,
Like the fact that it got that nasty was also part of forcing his hand to LA eventually. It had something to do with it.
okay,
Draymond Green again? Does he have that level of humility? Do we let them
KD's not
be
going back to the
bygones?
Warriors. I don't see it happening. I don't see it under any circumstances. It's great. The good times were great, but I think even just from a pride perspective, think about the optics. KD leaves Golden State Warriors, plays for three different teams, couldn't win a ring, and comes back to Golden State. That is going to do like that's going to tear his legacy apart. Yeah.
To come back though, you know, I have it on good authority that he had a conversation with Steph and like all of that stuff. So he did.
Last year, right, Eric?
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
year.
So he did want to come
Yeah,
back.
at the deadline. Yeah.
But the problem is that this man got to reading on Twitter and he saw what people were saying and he was like, "Oh, never mind."
But that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like
Well, wait. There's one interesting thing though. Like
if
he specifically said like, "Oh, I only asked for a trade one time." So it's like to me, it's like, all right, you clearly to us like it's been like three, right? But he's only counting one where like him explicitly asking for a trade. So to me, that says that there's room for you know what I mean. Like there's room for him doing it again because it's like, well, I only did it once, you know.
I mean, the thing is, if
Well, he's
even if
not
the
wrong.
rumors just
He's not
start,
wrong.
like,
He only got traded one time.
yeah,
Everything
but
else was just contracts.
but the reason that he left in the first place, right? The reason why he left the Warriors in the first place would defeat the purpose of him coming back, because they're like, you couldn't win without Steph whatsoever, and it just be like coming around full circle. Now, and even then, let's say the rumors start up that Kevin Durant, wants out of Phoenix, and that he even wants to come to the Warriors. So once social media gets going, and then you have the Suns who are going to be pissed that they lost Bridges and Johnson and the entire squad that they had for Kevin Durant, only to come here and want to walk. You think they're going to want to send him to Golden State? I think they're going to try to send him somewhere else. They're not going to be sending him where he wants to go, and it'll be like a worse situation than what happened with Harden and leaving the Sixers.
So I'm going to make a prediction based on the little that I've seen from this thing.
Yeah.
KD, remember, KD's the whole buzz of this whole thing and the frustration that was reported from Woj that KD has made apparent to the Suns organization was in the context of a specific thing. And it's a little bit odd, the context of what it was from. And what that was, at least what was reported out, was where they're at as a result of Beal not being able to get right. Beal not being able to get right is not that Beal's been bad on the floor. Beal's been out. Beal had the back, and he had the ankle thing. Looks like the back is still lingering. And from what we know, that's all I can. It's not much, but the Woj report says frustration comes specifically from Beal's lack of availability, and KD's basically saying TikTok to the Suns because you moved, and he signed off on it, and you made a move for this dude who's a 50-something million a year third option, and this guy can't even get on the floor. So my prediction is this:
Sounds familiar.
KD is a lot of things, but he's not one to necessarily complain about that specific type of thing in that way this early. He's a lot of things, but he's not that. And because of that, my prediction is this: this Beal KD shit, this shit ain't gonna work. I don't know what's going on between those two, but I'm telling you, I could be dead wrong, and that's fine. I think this Beal and KD thing, there's something there. There's something there. Something's not right over there.
Yeah, it's very thinly veiled. It could have been veiled a little bit more.
Why did it have to get reported that way?
Right, exactly. Like why he didn't. The names didn't have to be named and all of that.
Who did it get reported from? Who did it get reported from?
Who texted Woj is what you're saying?
Something goes to Woj. It's a team person that's saying that.
That's right. Yeah, it's
Like,
internal.
It's a team player that's saying that, right? And when KD was unhappy here, like people are saying like, yeah, KD's moving kind of funny, blah blah blah, right? And then the shit gets reported and all of that, right? Like KD, bro, KD does not trust front office types. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't, right? So when something like that is reported, bro, like, listen. If you talk to that man, bro, like he is one of the most untrusting people of certain people. You know what I'm saying? And he's fickle as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So when I see something like that come up, I've just seen it too many times to know how he's processing that. Next thing you know, you watch him and he's in the comments and he's replying and he's doing this and he's doing that. And you're just looking at it and you're like, oh, that's not a good sign. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we're at right now. That's exactly where we're at. And I'm like, yes, that's not a great sign. That's not too good for the Phoenix Suns. And when stuff like that happens, KD is like, he's going around and he's asking questions and he's like, who the fuck said that? You know what I'm saying? And he's like he's beating down doors basically. But then on top of it, it can get really sour with KD really, really quick. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes with them, bro. Like,
yeah,
he's a funny dude like that, man. I'm telling you, like, so I would not be shocked if if it gets sour. You know what I'm
And
saying?
Urkel, he ain't a sour patch. It usually don't get sweet after it's sour.
Does
Plus, the
something
Suns are
happen?
a new on. They're under new ownership, right? Yeah.
New ownership, unless Suns management went to him and the owner went to him and he like he's trying to smooth things out or whatever, and they who knows, right? But I do know this man, bro, and I just know how he operates, bro.
Urkel, that Beal shit, that shit was not supposed to get out. Not that way. Not that way.
And this is what I know about him, right? Like you see him losing to LeBron as many times as he's lost to LeBron this season, and then now you got our fans saying that look, Katie, you're losing to LeBron without Steph, blah blah blah. Right when that shit starts, bro, that shit drives me fucking crazy, bro. Next thing you know, you see his soldiers on the timeline, and then the soldiers are attacking me, right? They're coming into playback, they're coming into spaces, they're doing all types of crazy shit, right? Like that's what happens.
Is Steph losing to LeBron without KD? He's not.
Absolutely not. No, why would he? Didn't he beat LeBron? Didn't he beat LeBron in 2015? Yes or no? Didn't he beat LeBron in
Team was gonna lose, man. Anybody. Like no one was beating that Warriors team. It was just one of those things where you could chalk up who's coming out of the West, who's coming out of the East, but the West.
Why did James Harden take them to 7 games? Right? He won 3 games in 2018, and then he won 2 games in 2019. And LeBron, he won a whopping 1 game against that Warrior team.
Not a LeBron apologist. Right. So look,
Games against that Warrior
Wait,
team.
let me ask you all this.
Game.
Let me ask all this. Do you think
I'm not even a LeBron guy, right? But the thing about that conference. So look. Okay. So look.
Why did that happen?
When it comes down to the West, that Houston Rockets team was if you put that Houston Rockets team against LeBron, they're gonna beat LeBron. Like that's who Houston was at that time. They were just a well-built team. They went against the Warriors that just had it. Right? So it did go to a game 7. But it was just you almost just wanted
LeBron James on the team. He won a whopping 1 game, bro.
one guy. But I will say this. So so a couple of those series, listen, and I don't even want to fucking Bleacher Dave knows I'm not a LeBron guy. I'm a Laker Kobe guy. But what I'm trying to say is this: he didn't have his horses, right? And it is what it is. Injuries happen, just like when you
What do
guys
you
lost to
mean he
Toronto.
didn't have his
Okay,
horses,
so
man? Nah, I'm not listening to that
so
bullshit.
look when you guys lost to Toronto, if you guys had Clay, I think you guys
But
still win that
we
series,
don't
right?
talk about that. We don't even talk about it like that.
That's you guys. So I'm just trying to bring this up. So look,
We never talk about that 2019 series, right? Like it just happened.
And that was the most catastrophic shit to happen.
Yeah,
And we don't fucking talk about that shit.
getting injured in that series wasn't a catastrophic thing.
So why did they only win 1 game in 2017?
And like you guys, that Warriors team, that Warriors run that you guys had was gonna beat any team, and it's not even about winning games. Like no one was beating those teams. It's just that's just plain and simple. Like
Rockets managed to take them to 7 games.
they had better counters and matched up better against your guys' team.
And
It was
LeBron
just that
James?
simple, bro. So LeBron. It was one against 5, damn near. Like
My God,
But
you're
Kyrie,
delusional, man. You're
No, it
delusional.
was
One
one
okay.
against
against five.
five.
So
It was
that
one
game.
against
Okay,
five
You
when he
sound like an
lost.
idiot.
But when he had Kyrie in 16, it wasn't 1 against 5.
right? That series that you guys lost in 7. I don't think you guys beat them after that.
That is trash. You're
I'm
not
just
even talking basketball right now. You're talking foolishness.
no.
No,
This
the
is my
same team
opinion.
beat them in 2015. You're gonna tell me because they lost a 7-game series in 7 games that they couldn't beat that team
Okay,
again? Dude, are
so
you
that
stupid or
2015
what?
was
I
Kyrie
don't
and Kevin
know.
Leonard.
Don't tell me no.
Nah,
You're
come on, man.
they look in 2016 they won by a single game. They were down 3-1. Dude, you're gonna sit there and tell me that the Warriors were not gonna be able to win again? That's you're
Fan. I'm not even a LeBron fan, but
dude,
so right. So look, I want to tell you guys. I think for you guys, and listen, it's just basketball talk. I think your guys' problems is more internal. To be honest, I think it's more favoritism. I
Hold
think
on.
it's guys. I think
What Cavaliers team was better, the 2016 team or the 2017 team?
Laker fan. I'm a Kobe guy. It is what it is. I just kind of
No,
want
you
to
just
shoot
said
that
that
out
after
there.
2016, if we had won and we didn't bring KD, we wouldn't. The following years we wouldn't have won the championship. The 2017 Cavaliers team was way worse than the 2016 team.
So now Kyrie is important.
Oh yeah, exactly. Caught you.
Hell yeah, he is.
Okay.
He is important. He is
Got you.
important. I never said he wasn't. He is important, bro. Like, didn't you see what
I
he
thought
did
it was
against you
1v5.
guys?
so then here's the thing. So if it was 1 versus 5, why LeBron couldn't win, how is he gonna win in 2017 and 2018 after Kyrie left, or 2018 after Kyrie left?
Nobody was beating you guys. Period. That's just fact
Bro,
of the
you
matter.
just said that. You
Like,
just said that if we didn't get him, we wouldn't have beat him.
Yes, you just said that.
with KD, no one was beating you guys.
No,
Nobody.
without KD. We're saying
Nobody.
without
Without
KD.
Kyrie doesn't leave, I think they beat
Kyrie
you guys.
leaves.
Oh, okay.
Kyrie
So now
left.
we're moving the
if
goalpost. Got it.
If he
He
doesn't leave.
left. He
Okay, well,
left.
so they weren't beating you guys. This is what's gonna happen.
Ah,
It wasn't
so
gonna
now
happen.
Kyrie is
No,
really fucking important, isn't he? Now Kyrie's moving up. You see the issue with the argument?
Okay, without Kyrie, they're not beating you guys. With Kyrie and you guys still have KD, you guys are beating them. Like it's just what it is. Like you guys were an overwhelming favorite.
Why are we talking hypotheticals?
Without
Your guys' team at that time, I think Clay is right.
take it.
That's why I'm saying That's why I'm saying I think they beat you guys
So
without
LeBron
KD.
had more help than Steph Curry then, right?
Better, man.
He literally walked you to
Wait,
the
what?
argument. Like he walked you to it.
Wait, what
bro.
just happened right there?
Just said that.
This is the
What
this
just
is the
happened?
No, look,
Patrick
look.
from SpongeBob meme. This is the Patrick from
Drop off.
SpongeBob.
So listen to me. The drop off from Kyrie and Clay. Yeah. So at that time, Clay was a two-way player, right? Like he could still go off. He could still guard 1 through 3, maybe 1 through 4. It depends on the matchups. But then Draymond, right? And then you had Iggy doing what he's doing, and Sean Livingston, right? Like your guys' team was just like it was a perfect constructed team. It really was. Like it, for listen, I'm not even trying to back Cleveland up. I don't give a fuck about them. But I think you guys were just a better constructed team.
Let me ask you this: if you put
after
Steph Curry next to Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Iman Shumpert, Matthew Dellavedova, Channing Frye.
I'm gonna be honest.
No,
with
you're
you,
telling me. You're telling me
no,
that
I'm
we
not
were.
answering
You're telling
that
me that.
question.
You're telling me that the Warriors were just built different.
You take LeBron and put him in Golden State, and take Steph and put him in Cleveland.
You put LeBron on that Warriors team, I swear to God, we're not going to be talking about how good Klay Thompson, Draymond Green are.
On that Golden State team and put Steph in Cleveland, Golden State's gonna win. Cleveland isn't gonna win, man. Like
So you talk about the drop off, but you talk about the drop off
Hold on
between
a
Clay and
second
Kyrie,
here.
right? Let me ask you something.
Steph in Cleveland. What do you mean by that? Okay, so what do you asking? Who's gonna win?
See, the problem.
LeBron, hold on. Why would LeBron James be on the Golden State Warriors, and why would they be so unstoppable?
Almost damn near 9 straight finals. Like is it like? Do I have
Dude,
to
this is
explain
telling me
that?
you don't understand why the Warriors won. You do not understand why they win. No clue.
Who doesn't win? Cleveland.
You don't understand why the Golden State Warriors were so good. You're saying that they were, but you clearly
Like
don't
when
know
you
why.
say, bro, like when you say put LeBron James on the Warriors and they win, like that's not true.
swapping the best player for the second best player, man. Like, what do you mean it's not true? Like, both of those guys at that time were 1A, 1B. It's like, come on, like what?
James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because we had. So listen to me. We had two guys. So Urkel. Okay, so look, we had two guys that played the same way, except one couldn't fucking shoot, right? Not only that, we had three guys that were making. We had three guys. So we had three guys. Hold on. So look, we had three guys that were max players, and we couldn't build around them. We could not build around them.
Would LeBron fit with Draymond Green?
Exactly.
Exactly.
He's a better passer, right? He's a better defender.
What do you?
He's a better passer.
He's a better passer than Russell
He
Westbrook.
he runs a better offense than Russell. Like, oh my god.
Run an
See, this is how I
Draymond
know
Green is
you
not
don't
running
understand
an
our
offense,
offense.
bro. What are you
Our
talking
offense
about?
is
So
literally
look, oh
our
man,
offense is literally a motion offense.
you don't.
Wait, hold
built
on.
stuff.
Hold on. Wait, no, we can't just gloss over that. We
No,
can't just
no,
gloss
no.
over that. Draymond Green. No, hold on. Draymond Green is a bit relax. Draymond Green is a better passer than Russell Westbrook. So let me ask you something. So Draymond Green, you could argue, would makes better reads than Russell Westbrook in certain positions. One of those being in the high post. Can Draymond Green pass off the dribble better than Russell Westbrook? Question number one.
On what year you're talking about? Not now. He can't. Now he can't. He can't.
At
He's
their
not
best,
that
both
guy.
of them at their best. Who's a better passer off the dribble? Russell Westbrook or Draymond Green?
Westbrook at their best. At their best,
Okay.
Russell Westbrook.
Okay,
right?
so he's
I
better.
agree.
Westbrook, hold up. The season before Russ was on the Lakers, he averaged a triple double, literally.
So
Let me tell you this. Who impacts winning more, Draymond or Russell?
let me
One has four.
let me ask you this, bro.
No,
Yeah,
one
but
has
Let me
see,
go
four
back to
no,
the
rings.
hold on.
2015,
This was within
2016.
this was within the framework of fit next to LeBron James.
Do
So
you
now
think that
you're talking
LeBron
about something
James
different.
is making? Do you think LeBron
You're
James?
talking about something totally different now. You just moved
Do
the
you think
conversation.
LeBron James is making Andrew Bogut?
Who's the better passer? Like the biggest thing
No,
is
no, no, no.
okay.
No, we're
The
talking about
question
fit next
of the
to
passer
LeBron
came.
James.
No. See, you're losing the conversation. The
We're talking
question
about
of the
LeBron
passer
James.
comes in within the framework of playing next to LeBron James. And one of the first things you said, well, Draymond's a better passer.
Even before
Oh.
that,
you're right. He makes better reads. But Russell, okay, so the only thing that
in
Russell
one
does,
spot on the floor.
okay,
But
so
okay.
Russell's more athletic, right? And he
Yep.
could carve up defenses, and that's when he gets these drop offs, right? But what I'm trying to say is, okay, so if we're gonna go with the passing, yeah, Russell's a better passer. You guys don't think
Okay,
Draymond
so
would have
we'll
fit with
agree. So
LeBron?
you'll agree
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
wrong.
You don't think Draymond will fit with LeBron? I think Draymond will fit with LeBron.
yeah,
I
but
really
your
do.
Okay,
point was
first
that
of all, passing or using passing as the gauge of who fits better next to LeBron probably shouldn't be your first thing that you're looking at,
Dude, this is
right?
awful.
The first thing, LeBron ball, the first thing you're looking at is probably spacing, right? Neither of those dudes are spacers. So then answer the question: why is a Draymond Green a better fit,
Let me ask you this. So fucking Timothy Mozgov a better spacer?
bro? What can Draymond Green do without the ball in his hand, off the ball? And is that better or worse than Russell Westbrook? That's the question you need to
He's
ask
a better
yourself.
without the ball. He's a better defender. Like
hold up.
I'm
I
The
think we're
reality
forgetting.
is
I think we're forgetting that
a
the
better
2016.
defender, bro. I'm talking about the offensive side of the game right now.
I think we're
yeah.
forgetting that the 2016 Warriors won 73 games with Andrew Bogut, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Harrison Barnes starting. If you're telling me that LeBron James can make Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, Andrew Bogut, and Klay Thompson look like that 73 win team, you're literally
when those guys were were winning those games, they weren't. So you're basing it. I feel like people look at them as what they are now compared to what they were before. We did not think they were going to be what they are now. Like, I think
Harrison
they were
Barnes
better
was 0
players.
for 8 in the 2016
thank you.
championship.
Thank you.
Harrison Barnes was garbage, bro.
73 games.
When did
Yeah,
they
he
win
was garbage
73?
that season. That season in the
Oh my
finals is when
god,
he
dude.
fucking blew the finals.
Thank you.
Dude, do you want me to show
Same
you
season.
clips? Because this is a video that I'm actually
Same
working on
season,
right
bro.
now.
Hey, you act like Sean Livingston didn't play more meaningful minutes and a lot more minutes, I think, than Harrison Barnes, right? Like he was a more, and then Andre Iguodala. Like the biggest thing, man, you guys just had a better constructed team.
Bro, we can literally pull it up right now. Harrison Barnes had way more minutes.
So now, wait, hold
Listen.
on. So now role players are the reason why you're a 73-9 win team? Really?
Thank you.
Role
Thank you.
players?
73-9 win team. You tell me
Steph
that.
Curry.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. What? That's the okay.
Oh no, it was no. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. It was Sean Livingston. My fault. My fault. No, it was Sean Livingston, bro.
No,
You know
bro.
what?
It was Festus
Fuck,
Ezeli,
bro.
bro.
It's late. It's my fault. It was Sean Livingston.
Dre had nothing to do with it.
It was literally James Michael McAdoo.
Bro, it's not that they didn't have nothing to do with it. You're talking about scalability at their peak.
Great defender. He's never been a great defender. They were able to hide him
Yes,
a
he
lot of
was.
times.
Well, not great. Sorry about
Listen,
that.
you got so Klay Thompson was a great defender at that time. Draymond Green was a great defender at that time. You were able to
Sure,
somewhat hide
they're not
Steph.
the only great defenders in
Nah,
the
man.
league.
So you're
in
telling me that
era,
if
bro.
LeBron was on
There
that
were other
team,
great defenders in the league.
Hey.
If you take Steph Curry off that team, if you take Steph Curry off that team, you take Steph Curry off that team, you put another superstar on that team, you put a LeBron James on that team. Do they win 73 games?
And they win the chip.
All right,
I'll
you
tell you
got it.
that right now.
Absolutely not, bro.
All right, you
That
got
right
it.
now. Yes,
Absolutely.
Dude,
Okay.
you are smoking like
Yeah, you got that.
no, man.
All right, you got it.
It's just opinions. Like that's just my
No,
opinion.
no, it's not opinions. It's just stupidity at this point. Like you could have been logical and
Let him
said,
have it.
"No,
It's
Draymond's not a
it's
fit
fine.
next
It's
to
late. Let him have
LeBron."
it.
I'm in a Warriors channel, bro. So it's just not.
Green on the Lakers right now. 2016, and he couldn't fit now.
God.
Bro, he was a better defender.
Spacing the floor.
Yeah,
Wait.
In
Spacing the floor.
Wait.
is this
Okay.
hold on? Is this the year that he got suspended?
In 16, yeah, in the finals, yeah.
Might have been the MVP that season, that series. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to think that? Okay, so what he was doing, so he's the reason why you guys lost that series.
That Draymond would space for LeBron.
Those threes. He had
you're
shot
telling
was
me
better
that a
at
guy
time.
that was suspended in the same series should have won Finals MVP? A guy who was suspended.
He was the sole reason why you guys lost that fucking series.
Getting injured was actually the reason we lost. Keep it 100 with you. Yes.
So now it's role players, right? Now it's a Bogut, right? So Bogut was more important than Draymond. No, bro, Draymond was so much more important to you guys' team that series. If he doesn't,
Draymond played game 6 and 7.
the momentum switched. And when momentum switches in the NBA,
And Bogut got injured in game 5. If Bogut would have been healthy for game 6 and Draymond would have been back from suspension, they would have won. But check this out. You think that everybody on the Warriors besides Steph was better than everybody on the Heat besides LeBron? That's what you think? Pick a year. There's none of them years, so pick your favorite year that makes you the most happiest.
teams were just a well-built team, man. They just were. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not here to bag on them. They were a fucking well-built team. And then when you guys got KD, I don't give a fuck who came out the East, who you guys went against in the conference finals in the West. No, like, to me, nobody. It doesn't matter
Bro,
how many
Steph
games they
Curry
went.
is literally
Nobody
the only
was
dude.
beating the Warriors, bro. That's just the. And I'm a Lakers fan, like, and it is what it is, right? Like, I'm just saying that, like, nobody was beating these Warriors teams. It wasn't gonna happen.
Bro,
So what
Steph
if
Curry is
hold
literally
on.
the only
So
dude.
let me ask you something real quick. What if the Rockets don't miss 27 straight threes? What
So
happens
they
then?
missed it because they missed them, right? Because the Warriors weren't playing defense, right? So your guys' defense had nothing to do
27
with it.
straight threes?
They missed shots, man. And there's a reason why teams that never been there don't get there
I
when
got
they're
a
going
question
against the
for you.
team that's been there
You're
several
saying,
times.
hold on. My point, you're missing my point.
No.
They missed. You're saying no one could have taken them down, right? Missing 27 straight threes in the playoffs has never happened in NBA history. All it took would have taken is 4 of those
It's always
threes.
that one time. Shit,
4 of
listen,
those threes go in.
Specific.
and
They
your
shot
argument's gone.
16% from three that game. If they would have shot 23% from three, they would have won the game.
It's not as lopsided as you think.
What it reminds me of when you guys were up when the Thunder were up 3-1 against you guys. For some reason, I always felt like you guys were gonna win that series. Like I just didn't think that. So I didn't think the fucking Oklahoma was gonna win that. It's just it didn't make sense, and it was the same thing in that Rocket series. I just always thought that it doesn't matter what goes on. For some reason, the Warriors are gonna figure it out and they're gonna win.
Well, what you feel isn't necessarily what's happening on the
like
floor. I don't really care what you
For some
felt and
reason,
didn't
or Steph
feel.
Curry?
teams are built. When those teams have that it factor, they figure it out. That's just my thing. It doesn't matter how. Listen, good teams find a way to win. Bad
So
teams
what do you
find a
say
way
that
to
22?
lose, and
What do you
that's
say
what
that?
Houston did. That's what Houston did. Bad teams find a way to lose. Good teams find a way to
So
find a way to
Houston
win.
They
was a
still
bad
pushed it.
team.
They still pushed it to 7.
It sounds good because the Warriors won.
They weren't where you guys are, bro. Like that's just the fact of the matter. You guys
Wasn't
were
that
that
Houston team a top seed in the? Okay.
man. Listen, fuck. James Harden is not gonna win the way he was playing. They had Eric Gordon, Chris Paul, right? I think who else the fuck did they have?
Capella,
Trevor
Dude, they
Ariza.
were bombing teams. Like
Capella,
everybody was a
Rocco.
shooter. They were destroyed. They were burying teams. Like
Spent the whole season. Yes, they were.
They were a really good team offensively, but you guys were both the sides of the ball, right? That
it
team,
didn't. That Rockets team was so good offensively. The defense did not
That
match. They
Rockets team
were
actually had a good
literally
defense.
Bro,
bombing
they
teams.
had
They were
Chris
in
Paul, PJ
deficits.
Tucker, Clint
They were in
Capella.
deficits, and then they were 3-balling their way out of 20-point deficits to win the game. Like I watched the games that season. Like they were that crazy.
Hold on.
I don't.
So you're just gonna ignore the defensive side of the ball, right? That the Houston Rockets couldn't defend. How come they had a 109 defensive rating in the
That's
16-17
insane
season?
too.
They could fucking defend, bro. They could switch everything.
Okay, so Western Conference that year, it was Oklahoma, it was Golden State, and it was Houston, right? Who after those three teams were actual contenders? Who were you didn't want to put Portland there. Portland wasn't anything. Like we all knew who the top three teams were, right? So the thing for me is I'm not comparing them to the other series that they went against. Like, yeah, these other teams, the other series, it was like, but when it comes down to, who's gonna be there at the end. So you could almost chalk it up. You could almost chalk up the second and third round. And that's when it mattered. It's just like back in the day, like the Western Conference was always like the championship, and then whoever went to the finals, that was like, it don't matter who comes out of the West or the East, the West is gonna win.
So let me ask you something.
So that's the thing.
So let me ask you something. Back then, it was so lopsided and they were so good that you're saying that no matter what, you felt like they were going to get out. But in the same breath, in feeling the same way and living through that and watching those games, you're not going to say that the best clear and cut best player on that team was not the biggest reason why they were in the position that they were. How could you possibly do that?
What is the
If you're going to say
consistent
that same
variable?
thing, if you're going to say that same thing for LeBron James and his Cavs in the Eastern Conference, so then how can you
MVP
not
those
say the
years.
same thing for Stephen
Why?
Curry?
So why?
I can literally say the
Really?
same thing about
Really?
the bubble.
You're really going to cook yourself like that? You're really going to cook
Like
yourself like that?
so why didn't
You're
people
going to do the
think?
Finals MVP
Why didn't
thing?
people think that Steph was the most valuable player and and deserved to win the Finals MVP? If that's what you're saying, I'm just asking that.
Let me
Why did
just
he
say
just win?
this.
Why
Let me
did
just say
he
this.
just
I can
win
literally say
one
the
a
same
year
thing about
ago?
the bubble, bro. We can literally just say, oh yeah, the Lakers were just bound to win because the Clippers, they had injuries.
There we go. Now, what injuries?
So you're
What
really going to do this
injuries?
Finals MVP
What
thing?
injuries?
You
Though?
watch
Like they were
those
up
games, right?
3-1.
You
They
watch
were up
those
3-1
you
and they
watch
choked, bro. Like
17, 18, 16. You watch those finals, I'm assuming,
yes, I
right?
did. Yes, I
You were
did.
watching them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you watched those games.
Yes, I did.
And you're going to talk about Steph Curry Finals MVP and you watch those games? You don't have a problem with that?
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Why
So
didn't Steph?
if you watch those
Why didn't
games,
Steph win a
okay,
final? Because you told me. You
sure,
asked me. Well,
sure.
if I'm watching those
So
series,
you're talking about box score, right?
no. I'm talking about impact on the games.
Aha, thank you. So you watch those games and you watch the impact on the game. Who was creating all the advantages in both of those final series on the floor?
Offensive in the offensive end.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking one side of the ball now, right? Is that
Yeah,
what we're doing?
because usually
Is that what we're doing? We're just talking
because
one side of
usually
the ball. So
usually
the other
finals
side of the ball
MVP
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
well no, but usually finals MVP doesn't go to the best defensive player on the floor. Does it?
No, but
Unless
okay. So I'm talking. Okay,
unless
so
it's
who?
Stephen Curry
So
because
who?
they took one
No,
away
no, no.
from him
So
in
who had the
2015
biggest
and they gave it to
impact?
Iguodala.
Who had
Right?
the biggest impact? And look, listen to me. And I don't disagree with you. I think Steph should have got Finals MVP. But I'm telling you this. There's a reason why people didn't think he deserved it because he didn't have the
No. I
impact.
don't care what people say in the media. You know how that shit goes. I'm asking you a
No,
question.
bro.
Who created the most advantages on the floor?
On the
On
offensive end? On the
yes,
offensive end?
because that's
Well,
usually who they give Finals MVP to.
no, it's not. That's not who usually. It's the best player on the floor. It's the best
Okay,
player on
who
the
was
floor.
okay?
Period.
That's fine. The best player on the floor was the
Okay, so
same player who created the
Steph
most
wasn't the
advantages.
best player
So
on
who
the
was
floor.
it? Ah,
Steph
who was
wasn't
it?
the best player on the floor.
Who was it?
What series are we talking about?
I'm talking about the years he didn't get the Finals MVP
Okay,
because that's
so
what you're
No,
talking
no,
on
about.
no.
one of the years, I thought it was Draymond, and the other year, I did think it was Steph. To be honest with you, I thought Steph deserved
So
it one year.
neither of the years you thought it was Durant.
So, no, yeah. Hold on, I'm not done. Relax. So, KD, I think he did deserve it both of those years. To be honest with you.
That's what I'm asking you. That's the
Yeah.
question that I'm asking you.
Yeah.
So you think that Kevin Durant created more advantages in those 8 wins than Stephen Curry?
Okay, so
right?
I'm gonna tell you this.
Because you said, hold on,
When
no,
I
hold on,
okay,
hold on,
so
hold
when
on,
I
hold
was
on, because
watching,
you said it's not about the box score. It's
No.
about who was the best player who created the most advantages. So then explain.
Okay, so what I will say is this: the thing that so most teams when they played you guys, they keyed in on Steph, where they said, okay, we got to slow this guy down, we got to try to stop him and let KD go off, right? I that's what happened. They let KD go off because Steph is that dude that does make the difference.
And Ty Lue did the same
Ty
thing,
Lue
right?
did that. That's what Ty Lue
Okay,
did. He
right.
said, "Fuck that. We got to focus on Steph, and if KD's gonna get what he's gonna get, it is what it is, right?"
Okay.
So that's what they zoned in on, and KD was on the fucking floor, bro, and that's why it looks like how it looks like. But he still was the guy down the stretch that did hit them big shots, and maybe it was because
You're not making
Steph was
sense, my
not there.
guy.
Like I'm just saying,
You
bro. Like,
realize
I'm
you just
show
answered.
you
You
right
realize
You're
you just
now.
answered your own
arguing our
question,
point
right?
for us.
You just
I'm
did it
going
for
to
us.
I'm going to show
Anything
you
to say that
exactly
Steph
why.
didn't deserve
I don't
it.
know.
Hold up.
I don't know
You
how
So
just
long
did
you've
it. I
been
don't even have to
following
say
Steph
anything, bro.
Curry,
So
but
Luke,
I have a question for you.
I
All
don't even
right.
have to say anything.
I'm gonna show you something, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly what the problem is with all of this. You know, KD was the best player during on the Warriors that time period. Okay, there was a game, and I'm gonna use an example, not even in the NBA, but bear with me. There was a game, Davidson versus Loyola Marymount, that happened in 2008. That was Steph Curry's last year. That was before Steph Curry got drafted, right?
right.
So
Wait,
in that game,
what'd you say?
Davidson versus the Loyola Maryland.
Oh, okay, we're talking college. Okay.
Yeah. So Steph Curry in that one game, he played 32 minutes. Steph Curry had 0 points, right? Some guy named Lovedale had 20, and another starter named Barr had 18, right? The Davidson beat Loyola's ass 78-48. Now let me ask you, all right? I don't know. Are you familiar with that game?
No, I am not, to be honest with you. I know the college ball, but I didn't watch that game, so I
Okay.
couldn't
All
tell
right.
you.
That's a pretty important game, and I'll explain why in just a second. All right. You know, you had guys coming off the bench dropping 13, but for all intents and purposes, Steph Curry offensively did not contribute any points whatsoever to that game.
Okay.
Now, you hearing about this, all right, you know, it might be tough since you're not familiar with the game, because I wanted to ask you who you thought was the best player in that game for Davidson to win by 30. Do you want to know why they won by 30 despite Steph Curry not scoring a single point?
So I can tell you straight up, right off the bat, just based off the kind of player that he is, based off the kind of schemes that in defenses teams run, is because he draws so much attention, he carries so much gravity that teams zone in on him, and what that does is it leaves other guys and the other guys get going.
So I don't
That's
even
just
have
my
to say
opinion.
the
Well,
so I
and I
don't
know
even
that.
have to say the rest of it, because
Hey,
now you
Twitch.
understand
I
why
know
Hold
that,
on.
Kevin
and
Durant
listen,
But
was
see,
I
able
can
here's
to
the
go
thing.
off.
recognize that. and
Here's
that's
the thing.
fine.
There's one more layer to this thing, this finals thing too. So you're absolutely right, and you answered it in that you said, well, Ty Lue, like other
Oh,
coaches,
and I know
scheme.
that. Yeah, I
Hold
know
on,
that.
hold on. You
I know
said
that.
that Ty Lue, like other coaches, schemed to take away Steph, right?
Yeah.
And they because with that team, you did have to pick your pros. You had to take something away, and he schemed to take away Steph Curry, doubled Steph Curry a bunch, and he did what he did. And KD was the best player in that series, right? According to you.
Mhm.
So because he ate off of that opportunity. KD is an all-time great scorer. You're going to have him take practice shots in the gym, he's going to make them. So hold on. If he took away Stephen Curry in order to find it, basically create a counter where you're going to have somebody else beat you, Stephen Curry in the 17 finals gave you 27, 9.5 assists, and 8 rebounds. That's taking him away?
And that's in that was the last year they beat Cleveland.
That
Is
was
it
the
No, that was
first year that was
2018,
the
bro.
first year that they beat Cleveland. He
with
gave
KD?
your
With
head at
KD.
he
With
popped
KD.
on their head. Yes, with KD. He popped on their head 27, 9.5, and 8. He almost gave you a 27-point triple double in the finals, and they were doubling him every single time.
AK, what did he have in 2018?
Well, how does that work?
What did he have in 2018, AK?
2018, he went 28, 6.5, and 6.5. A little bit
I
of a
thought he was
drop
getting
off.
doubled the entire time.
He was getting doubled. He was the primary guy that was getting doubled and
And he
trapped because they
dropped
had to
what?
take something away.
What did he
Yeah,
drop?
this is the impact that Steph has on the game because
Do
people
you
tend to just
understand?
look
Do you
at the
understand
scoring and
now?
say, "Oh, this guy,"
The game plan was to take dude out of the game, and they trapped dude, and they said we're gonna let one of the greatest scorers of all time take jump shots and beat us, and they did it, and the dude still gave you 27, 9.5, and 8. You couldn't even take him out of the game when you trapped him. For 48 minutes, you trapped him, and he dropped 27, 9.5, and 8. And Al left. Good night, Al. On that, good night, Al.
he bounced.
GG's.
He heard that and he left. Good night,
Took
Al.
himself out. Man,
I'll
telling you,
look.
these
I'll
people are
always admit
crazy.
defeat. I always will. I will always admit defeat. If I lose, I'll admit it. I'm the first to admit it. If you got me, you got me. And I'll shake your hand and on to the next round. 100%. I have no problem losing an argument. I really
AK, we
don't.
literally won 2015 because
I
we had shot
actually, I
Livingston.
actually, I actually love when it happens because I usually come out of it learning something incredible about whatever it is, even outside of sport, even if it's not basketball, even if it's not soccer. I don't care what it is. If that happens, I'm tipping my hat.
Grab my charger. So, I heard him. I heard. So the last part I heard was he said about Steph averaged 27 and something on that series, and and um and KD or something like that. Then my phone
Despite
died.
getting doubled
So,
and trapped
So
the
my
whole
yeah,
time, you
okay.
forgot
So
that part.
we'll do this again really quick. My thing was if you're scheming against him like Ty Lue did, and you're gonna trap him for 48 minutes and double him and take him away, and he wasn't, and all of the advantages and the gym jump shots that KD took to give you 32, 33 in the finals.
last time I heard or something like that.
Yeah, because basically, I mean, look, you watched it. Like KD was half of his looks were wide open. I don't
He
care how
also
tall
said he
he is
could
if there's
shoot
not if
over.
there's no defender. Yeah, sure, of course. I'm not taking anything away from his greatness in his scoring, but if you're shooting with the nearest defender 8 feet away from you, you could be 5'10" too, and you'll still make the shot if you're a good scorer. So that's besides the point here. My question was, if you're scheming to take that away, and that's your only thing because you have to take something away from that team, and all of the advantages he's creating and all the counters that he's creating with you taking him away, at the very minimum, if he's not the best player on the floor, you at least have to succeed in taking him away and reducing how effective he is on the floor. Because if that's going to be your game plan and you're going to let one of the greatest scorers of all time get that many open looks, then you damn well better take away Stephen Curry. Then my question was, how the hell did you take him away if he gave you 27, 9.5, and 8 in the series?
Damn, that's pretty gnarly. I didn't know that. So my thing is this.
Uh-huh.
No. So look. My thing is this. My thing is this about like great players like Steph and KD and LeBron. Like they're gonna get even Nikola Jokic, right? Like as much as you try to do, you can't take them away. What you can do is slow them down, right? And what they did was KD at that point. It doesn't matter what you did, you couldn't slow them down or you couldn't take them away. So they figured, from what I heard on that interview, that Steph was a guy that they can try to contain, right? They said they can try to slow down. Like you just can't slow these guys down, man. It's not that easy, right? So
Yeah,
so
but
what they
Al,
did
the
was
rebuttal to
so
that,
look. Okay, so look, what I'm trying
the
to say is
rebuttal
this.
to that is,
Okay,
have you
so look,
seen
hold
KD
on,
in
hold
Wait,
on,
22
LeBron
against
couldn't
the
guard
Celtics?
hold on,
KD.
wait. So hold on. What they did
6'9"
is
LeBron.
is
Oh
at
man.
this point you had to pick your poison, right? And I'm not even trying to back up these guys, right? But you have to pick your poison, right? And okay, so they went with Steph. It is what it is because at that point KD was just you just couldn't slow him down, bro. Like KD, he just was you couldn't do nothing,
I
right?
get
And
that,
even
but the
even though
rebuttal
Steph
is,
got his
Al,
numbers, um, you try to slow down it, and fuck, I guess it didn't work, right? So that's why they
Al,
Well,
the
lost.
okay, wait, wait, wait,
Al,
wait,
the
wait, wait,
rebuttal
wait,
to
wait, wait,
that.
wait, wait, wait,
Like
wait, 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 wait. The easy, no, listen, hold on.
like it is what
The
it
easy
is, bro.
rebuttal
Like
is
I
Do
don't
you
even
why
mind if
give a
I say
fuck
something
if
real
about
you're a
quick?
those teams, to
coach,
be honest
if
with you,
you're a
bro. But
coach, if you're a coach and you can pick like why you obviously are trying to slow down slash trap slash eliminate the best player on the floor. So if you're looking at two guys and you're
you
choosing
can't
to
slow
eliminate
down the
Steph
best player
Curry,
on the floor, bro. Like you
but
can't do that with
but
Jokic.
that's
You
Wait,
can't do
Ted,
that
But
with
Ted,
that's
nah,
with
cause
KD
exactly
at that
hold
time.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. In 2022, we watched both these dudes play the same team, and what happened? So
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
tell
trying to
you like
say.
this. I coach basketball. Like you gonna pick the dude who, if I throw all my shit at KD, Steph is gonna murder me. If I throw all my shit at Steph, KD might let me slide. Like
No,
he
I
might just miss
disagree.
shots
I
sometimes.
disagree. I disagree. I
Wait,
disagree.
hold
We
up.
just
that
seen
was
the Boston
literally
Celtics do
that
it.
was
We just seen the Celtics do it. We just seen that. You wasn't watching that? Because I
Yeah,
was watching that.
yeah. I
That
was
shit was
watching. Yeah, I was
crazy.
watching it. Yeah,
He couldn't
yeah.
even dribble. Like my nigga took one dribble and was at the elbow getting ripped every time.
Wait, who are you
Like
talking about? KD?
KD against the Celtics in
Okay, when he
2022.
was in
That shit
Brooklyn.
was
When he was in
embarrassing.
Brooklyn. When he was in Brooklyn.
Yes, that shit was
Yeah,
Okay,
they
so
trapped
so
him and
you
he
take
died.
KD away, right? Listen, and I'm not even a KD fan, man. But what I'm trying to say is, you took KD away. Who was on that court besides KD?
Kyrie Irving?
No, Kyrie was injured.
James Harden was out there, but
James
no.
Harden was
He
Kyrie
injured
wasn't
played.
big
too.
compromise.
Kyrie
He
played.
wasn't
Hold
big
on, time out.
compromise.
Kyrie
Kyrie
was
played.
injured, man. Kyrie was
No, he
injured.
didn't. He played. He scored 42 points in game one, and
Kyrie
after that,
literally
He
played
got
that
he got
season.
bounced out of the
he
series, but
played.
James
I
Harden was
watched
out
that
there.
shit, bro. And so what I'm
Nah,
telling you
Kyrie
is
was
this.
injured, bro.
Bro,
Kyrie
no,
was
he
injured.
played. I watched the whole series. So check it
No,
out. If
no.
you leave Steph Curry
He
open
was
the
so
way
he
they was
got
leaving,
injured the Milwaukee series, right?
bro, that's a different year. I'm
Oh
talking
shit.
2022 when they got swept.
Okay, so that was 2021 then. That's the
Yeah,
first year.
yeah, that's a
Okay.
different
2022
year,
he was
brother.
out there.
22 is when he got swept. Yeah,
When he
yeah,
got
okay, yeah, yeah.
swept, and I'm
When they
telling
lost to
you,
No, yeah,
Milwaukee,
yeah, yeah,
James Harden had the
I agree.
hamstring
Okay,
shit.
so Kyrie was there, yeah.
yeah.
And
So
that's so
if
the first game was a close one where I
Kyrie
thought
dropped
Boston
40,
was gonna
yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I get you. Okay,
But
I follow
so Steph can
you.
consistently do that. Kyrie can consistently do that. If you choose to take away KD while Steph Curry is on the court, he is going to murder you alive. We
And against
watched.
that same
gonna
defense,
he gonna
against
The
that
drop
same
50
Celtics
on
is
you.
the
defense, he
only
fucking
team
destroyed
ever
him.
that chose to guard Steph Curry like he was a regular human being, and we seen what he did. Every other
So
team
so
trapped
what
him and took him
happened?
away, and he still dropped over 25, 6 and 6. Like his finals average is crazy, and
Yeah,
that's
and that's
being
and that's
trapped
fine,
30
and
feet
that's
away
fine.
from the
And
court.
I'm not trying to say he's not a great player. What I'm trying to say is like so at that time I do feel like KD had the bigger impact. Not by like by big margin, but I do feel like he was a better player
Okay,
and
so
he
hold
did
on.
deserve those
So hold
I,
on.
I
MVPs.
So
agree he had the
so I,
bigger
I
impact
broke
on
the,
the
hold
That's
on.
court,
the
So I
but
that's the
broke
only
this I
thing I'm
broke
trying
this
to
whole
say.
thing
that's
down
what the
for
cap.
you.
I'm telling you, that's what the Cavaliers coach wanted.
I
He did
broke
have
down,
the bigger
yes, I
impact on
broke
the
down this
stat
whole
sheet,
thing for you,
and it
right?
was a
And you
part of the
still came out
Cavaliers
of it. You
game
still
plan.
came out of it
The
that you felt
context
like KD
matters.
had a bigger impact. So what was it? What was it that he gave that what was it? What advantage? What was it
So
that he gave you a
you
better
know those
impact?
close games where he just went down the court and he just fucking went three after three. Like he closed those games out. The games that mattered, some of them weren't even blowouts. Some of them were close games, and KD closed them out. Like that's the biggest thing.
Clutch
KD
shots.
closed them out. Yeah,
Clutch
it was
shots.
just clutch. What?
Okay,
What's
so
up?
your thing is this, just to understand you right. You value the clutch shots over the overall
No, I don't
advantages
value that
created
more. I
over
don't value
over
that more. No,
four
no,
games.
Hey Al,
no,
would you
no,
say
And
no.
so if
that
you
That's
game
don't
no,
four
value that
last
more, then
year?
you have to your guy it has to be Steph Curry.
Al, would
no,
you say that
no,
game
no.
four last year against the Warriors, Lonnie Walker was more important to the team than LeBron James?
Oh yeah, well yeah, fuck yeah. Without Lonnie, we don't win, and I'm here to admit that.
He's
Hell yeah,
more
he was.
important than AD and LeBron that game.
He was the only one scoring. Yeah, he's the only one that
Okay.
had it going. I agree. We
I,
don't win, so we don't win that game without Lonnie. We just don't. Period. Like we don't fucking win that game without Lonnie, and that's just the fact of the matter, right? Like,
that's not my
uh,
question. My question is, was he more impactful the whole game, or the LeBron James and Anthony Davis?
the whole game. Okay, so he only played like 10 minutes. So how is he going to be more impactful the whole game when he
Yeah.
played ten
Do you know
minutes?
why? Because Lonnie Walker was getting single coverage the entire time.
Well, you don't double a guy off the bench like that, bro. A guy that plays sporadic minutes. You don't a
Yeah,
team.
but
You
imagine.
okay? So what happened was okay. So you always have that guy off the bench that gets going, right? And it just so happened to be him. Like you, no, you Steve Kerr couldn't scheme against that because this isn't a guy that you have on the scheme report, right? So it was a tight game, and he just happened to come up and light you guys up. It is what it is. Like I didn't even know that shit was gonna happen,
Yeah,
right?
but my point is that Steph Curry was getting doubled in the 2017 and 2018 finals, and
Okay.
yet you're telling me that KD was more impactful, getting single coverage. He was
That's just
getting the
my
Lonnie Walker coverage the entire time, but you're
okay.
telling
He
me that.
was so look. I'm telling you this. I feel like if no matter what you threw at KD was just he was on that route at that
But I
point.
could
Like
tell you this.
I just
I
don't.
could tell
I
you
don't.
this, and I already told you this. It also kind of didn't matter what you threw at Steph. You doubled him.
You
You
gotta
trapped him.
realize. You gotta
You tried.
realize
You
that
tried to.
height
You
makes a
tried to
difference,
triangle. Hold
bro.
on. You tried to
Height
triangle
makes a
into him.
difference.
You tried a bunch of different shit. You tried to trap him. You dribble. You doubled him. You triangle into him. You tried to take him away. But what happened at the end? He still gave him 27, 9.5, and 8.
Right, and that's cool. Like he's a great player. It is what it
So
is.
he was the
But
biggest difference in that final series, right?
no, man. Like at that point, look, okay, maybe he was, but what I'm trying to say at that point, it doesn't matter where you threw at KD. Like that dude was just on a different level at that point. Like he was
Bro,
just
you keep saying it don't matter what you threw
Bro,
at
but you
them,
keep
but
but you keep
they
agreeing.
didn't
You
throw
keep
nothing
agreeing.
at them
Here's the thing:
except one
you keep
defender.
agreeing, and then you keep saying, "But it did." But KD,
Yeah,
but
that's
KD, oh,
like
but KD, oh, but
that's your
KD.
opinion, bro. They didn't throw nothing at them.
Land
When we
somewhere,
seen
you
somebody throw some
couldn't
shit at them
you
in
know why they didn't
2022,
throw nothing at him
when the
because you
Celtics
couldn't
threw some
slow the
shit at
guy
them,
down. You couldn't slow him down. You could slow Steph down, even though he averaged what he averaged. Like
bro.
you got to
But
pick
that
your
that's
poison,
that's your opinion. That's not
you
fact.
couldn't
Because in
slow him down.
2022, the
bro.
Celtics sure
What
did
are we
slow his
doing?
ass down. When you threw something at him, when you wasn't scared of a top 5 player of all time playing next to him, and you was like,
No,
"Fuck it,
okay.
we gonna
So
throw some
look,
shit at him."
so look. You can't compare that. So that year, so when you guys won in 2022, like Steph was that dude. Like it is, like you can't deny that he was that dude. Like he proved it, right? He proved it, and I'm not arguing against 2022. I'm just saying about what I saw between both of the guys with KD and Steph in that series that you're talking about.
I
Like,
feel what you're saying, and I don't even want to argue with you too much, but I'm just saying this. You keep saying it didn't matter what you throw at them. What I'm saying is you did not see that. You think that, but they didn't throw hella shit at them, so
But
there's
what
nothing
did
to prove
happen?
it.
What
The
you
did
know why
only
happen
they
is
didn't
you
time
do it?
that
did
you
throw.
Listen,
seen
so they
people
didn't do
throw
it. They
hella
What
shit
did
did
it
at
for a
them,
happen is you
he
reason.
did
got
throw a
They
bunch
cooked.
of
said
shit
it
at
for a
Steph Curry,
reason.
and he killed it.
Bro, they said that on the interview. Like we at that point they said we couldn't do nothing with KD. Like it doesn't matter what we did, he was gonna do what he was gonna do. They said we can throw stuff at Steph and try to slow him down.
And it did it
That
work?
I don't fucking know, did it?
Obviously, it didn't,
And why is that? Because he got Finals MVP.
because he gave you 27.5,
Okay,
nine and
and
a
who
half,
got
and
Finals
8,
MVP?
bro.
Who got Finals MVP?
Bro, they took Steph's
So
Finals
That's a
MVP
you
from
mean
lesson.
to tell
That's a
me?
lesson
Iguodala
old
So
in
you mean to
motherfuckers
tell me?
taught me,
2015.
Okay, so
bro.
Are
look,
you
look. You mean to
kidding?
tell me that KD got Finals MVP off of Steph? That Steph's the reason why KD has Finals MVP. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, 100%. Just like Iguodala.
That's
Like you
exact.
put
Okay,
KD
and
over
that's
there
fine.
with
It is what
Iguodala.
it is, and I respect your opinion. It's all good, man. Like that's why there's basketball
KD
dialogue. Like
got Finals MVP because obviously two
because of
things.
Steph, right? Because of
Because of
Steph.
two things.
Period. Steph,
One, okay,
right?
first of all, if that's a media award, and if the media was going to give it to Steph, they would have given it to him in 15, and they gave it to him for the box score because his box score was incredible. The box score and the narrative they gave it to KD. That's it. Was he the best player in the series? Did he create the most advantages? Pretty clearly broke down for you that wasn't the case.
All
He
right, let me
absolutely
see this.
fucking ate off of the advantages that were created from 30. And unlike you could argue this though. You could say this, and I give you this. You could say that KD was the best fit player in that system and out of
So we're
any player
talking
in the
about
league to eat off of
2017,
those
right?
advantages. Yeah, you could say
2017.
that. You would not be wrong. You could easily say that out of any superstar that you could put next to Steph Curry in that series, because he was such a fucking elite and he still is off ball forward, one of the greatest we've ever seen, that in terms of a fit, a basketball fit to take advantages and eat off of those counters and from not only to be efficient, but to scale that to volume in an NBA Finals, absolutely. You could say Kevin Durant was the best guy to do that. And props to him because he fucking did it. I'm just telling you the advantages that were created and the reason why it played out 8-1 was because of 30. But now was not taking anything away from KD from this. I'm just trying to tell you, don't forget history and don't forget what happened on the floor.
Okay, and that's fine. That's your opinion. It's all good. Okay, so bottom line is this for me, right? It doesn't matter what team there was. Like nobody was beating you guys. I don't give a fuck what you throw out there in terms of the teams that were then, and that was it. Like out of the East, the West, like you guys were once you got KD, it was just a matter of who they're gonna go against in the East. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. And I'm not saying Steph's not a good player. Like I'm not a Laker fan that hates on Steph, bro. Like I'm just not that guy. Like he's a great player. You know what I'm saying? Like he is. But no, so I mean, without just switch the conversation, I heard you guys talking about like everything going on your thing. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think your guys' shit is more internal and favoritism. Like I don't know how Chris Paul is getting all those minutes, bro. Like I know he doesn't turn the ball over and he gets everybody
Al, do
involved,
you know
but
why?
it's is it
Because he's a
favoritism?
massive positive right now. Go look at it.
Is it right now? But
Yeah,
does
yeah.
he?
He's
But
actually a
does he?
big positive.
But does he impact? So that means he impacts winning, right? Because the minus the plus and minus can't be. They can be somewhat dismissive, uh, because what I'm saying, just the lack of the minutes that they're playing, or the more minutes they're playing. But I just think that, um, oh, bro, I don't know about. I think Wiggins and Chris Paul, and sometimes even Looney, are dudes that are holding you guys back. And
Al, do
maybe
you
it's
even
just
watch? Do you watch any Warriors games?
I watch. Yeah, I watch what I can. Yeah, I'm here in Southern California. I'm like fucking 4 hours from the Bay.
Okay,
Yeah,
just wondering.
yeah. No, I do. I watch them. I watch them today on League Pass. Like Miami just were the bigger team, and they just were the better. They were just the better team, right? Like that's just and without Jimmy Butler, you know what I mean. You would expect that it'd be a little different for you guys at home, and I think you guys came out flat. I think you guys
Yo,
didn't
Al,
have
are
any.
those your kids in the background, bro?
Yeah, yeah, those are my kid. Goran, keep it down. My kid, yeah, he's playing Fortnite, man. He's playing
How
Fortnite.
are they still up right now, bro? It's like
Well,
twelve
he's
something.
on Christmas vacation and shit, so he doesn't go
Oh,
back till next week.
I
Yeah,
feel you,
no,
bro.
but all bullshit aside, man. Like, listen, like, um, man, that's a tough thing. It's a tough thing when Clay's contract is looming, and I think that is a little that bothers you guys a little bit. Um, you know what I mean? But
So you think it's favoritism that's
Steve
yeah.
Kerr's playing certain guys that he shouldn't be playing at certain times, man. Like or there's guys that are getting an extended run of minutes at a certain time where they should be substituted. Just kind of like our coach. Our coach is a fucking idiot, bro. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like you leave guys out there that shouldn't be out there. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
One thing's for sure, two things for certain. On any Laker fans, they hate Darwin Ham. Y'all
Yeah,
are funny, man.
listen. No, listen. Listen. He's probably a great guy to shoot the shit, drink a beer with, right? But he is not a right X's and O's coach, bro. He might be a good locker room guy, but he's not. He's not a very clever coach. Like, But anyways, that's besides the fact. Yeah, man. You guys. I think you guys. Oh, fuck, dude. I know you guys like pods, but I think it's either Podge or Kaminga that needs to go for you guys to get a good piece back. That's what teams are gonna ask for because you guys are on the Laker boat right now, bro. No one's gonna want to help you guys. Like no one's gonna want to get you guys out of this slump. You guys been winning so much. You guys think teams are just gonna want to help you guys out? It's gonna be hard. They're gonna want one of your guys is more impactful players, and that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but I don't know what you guys think.
No,
Nah,
you're right about that.
I think you're right about that. I think And see, this is what I'm trying to tell like my guys. I'm like, yo, like, um, I don't think anyone is going to want to help us. And if they do help us, they're asking for the farm. You know what I'm saying? So
You guys gonna get that Lakers tax, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
so there is a Laker tax, there's a Warrior tax. Although y'all
yeah,
got a stimulus last year, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that
Well,
that
the
Russ
thing
trade,
is,
bro. Come on, man.
yeah, I know. Okay, so the thing for that, Danny Ainge owed us some shit because that Patrick Beverly shit that he sent us, man. This motherfucker better have done something good for us. He was fucking bad. That shit was awful, right?
Yes, I
So
mean,
so so when he so we didn't, and you know what? What's funny? Like a lot of people think that it wasn't. Listen, it wasn't so it wasn't just more the players. I think we just caught lightning in the bottle. We kind of got a breath of fresh air after the deadline, just based off the bullshit we went through the first half. So we kind of hit a high, and we rode that high until it just fucking boom, until we hit a wall, right? Because it's not very often that you get a team that's this bad and all of a sudden just flips the fucking switch with no continuity, with no good schemes, just off of 20 games. Like that doesn't happen. So I always tell the dudes that, the spaces of my guys, I always tell them I feel like we just hit lightning in a bottle, and we ran into a fucking good team, and they just and even then we got swept, but I mean we weren't blown out, but I mean we just hit a fucking wall. You know what I'm
yo,
saying? So
Al,
yo,
which spaces do you typically frequent?
I always go on late night lake show. I fuck with Coaches Dan, and I pretty much fuck with everybody. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I think, and I go to a lot of Laker games too here because I'm local. I'm down here in Camarillo, but kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah, yeah.
40 minutes from LA. So yeah, I'm always there too at Laker games, and for the most part, I think even this year, like even though we hit a tough stretch, I think a lot of our guys are underperforming. I think our rotations are bad. I think a lot of guys don't know the roles. I think a lot of guys are still like you know. Just it's just a bad flow right now. But I think it is what it is, man. Like I think there's always a deadline. And for me, I always tell the guys, like, we don't even know what this team's going to look like towards the end of the season. So just kind of let it ride out, because I know for a damn fact, this is not the team we're going to be riding out with. Our starting point guard, bro, isn't playable. This dude can't be played like it's that bad, like. We need to have another ball handler in there, right? If we're gonna
Hmm.
try to hide LeBron on defense with Vando and Cam and AD, we need another ball handler at times. But I think the biggest thing is, and even for both teams, like for me, I just try to tell myself, like, hey, this is not the team we're gonna at least try to make the playoffs with. Like I know it's not. This shit's not gonna work. So it's just you just gotta you know try to fucking keep trucking on, man. It's a long season. We all get our ups and downs. We hit our highs and lows, peaks and valleys, or whatever. But the biggest thing is there is a solution to stuff. Now, if you guys were fucking locked in and damn near like us last year, where it was Russ and bust, like that contract was massive. I did not think we were gonna do that. Then it was a different story. But I think there's some kind of that you guys still have some kind of leeway and some kind of you guys are still out there and capable of making moves as well as we are. We got good contracts to trade. You guys got good assets, so I don't think any of the teams are stuck. Both teams, better players are still playing at a high level, and as long as you have that and have health, you always have a chance. We all
Yeah.
know that. We all know that. So just I'm not one of those guys that comes in here and bags on you guys and shit. Like it is what it is, bro. Like it's fucking so that's just my thing.
Yeah, man. I think both the Lakers and the Warriors are in the same spot right now, personally.
Man. In what
I
in
think
what
we're
way?
right about the same place right now.
Well, I mean record wise, yeah, we're right there neck and neck.
I mean, like even if, I mean even if you look at all the numbers and stuff, I mean, just neck and neck. Just neck and neck. I think so like a few weeks ago I was listening to y'all and y'all were talking about you know, even my folks were saying it, and they're like, how many wings the Lakers had, and all of this stuff, and then we watched the games or whatever, and y'all were like super physical with the Pacers. A week later, then people were saying like those same rotations that won y'all the tournament, how they suck. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
Yeah,
bro, it this whole thing, bro, it just goes back and forth like a pendulum. You know what I'm saying? Like one minute
that
y'all are good,
yeah,
the next minute y'all are not good. I mean,
yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
but
I think it's just the up and downs, the ebbs and flows of the league of the season.
yeah,
I think, and as fans, we get up here and just fucking give our opinion and try to fix what these guys don't see. But I think it's just it's and even like I'm not trying to shoot my team no bell like at all, but at
yeah,
the beginning of the season, we really didn't have some our quote unquote wings that got us to where we were last year. Like
mm,
as bad as Vandal is offensively, he does hide like for example, we can't have D'Lo and Austin starting at the same time. Like that backcourt is awful. It gets cooked
yeah,
so bad. Like they're so unathletic. They're so fucking slow, right? So you have to have whether it's a Vando and maybe even a Cam, right? Just to kind of try to hide what they don't do defensively, and kind of put some keep some pressure off of them. So I mean, for us, we won games even though we weren't healthy, and we're only 2 games over 500, which is to me surprising. Just because of everything that's been going on, coaching, like, and this is what I always say. I think the games we win in spite of coaching. Like we
hmm,
win in spite of Darvin's fuck ups. Like we somehow got in a roll and won those games. Um, but there comes a time where you can't beat your opponent and your coach at the same time. Like you just can't do that. It's tough to do. So I mean, I think both teams probably hit a wall, and they just got to get the shit together, man. Like it is what it is. There's nothing else we got to say.
yeah,
Players got to play better. Coaches got to scheme better. They got to put the better lineups out there, and it's just that's all you could ask for, in my opinion.
yeah, man, I agree with that. Um, I'm gonna get out of here and go to bed. So, Al, appreciate you for hopping in. We should come through more often, bro.
Yeah, no, all good, man. I just go back and forth and just talk some ball and shit. On
Yeah,
both
bro.
sides.
All right, I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Everybody have a good night or good morning.
Be smooth.